Like I love emblem tiwa. Kini poppy kini temi lele. Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again. Today, our Yoruba Nation, our Yoruba Nation campaigner. So I can bear Twitter space now. So can we pe Archie? It's a bit cold now, Roy, but it's not that bad. You know, tutu, but kò ń ṣe tutu tó lè knock èèyàn off. Okay, good morning. So Star Radio la fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìn torí Star Radio UK morning show with Archie. A máa pe Archie nísìn. Ìwòye àná ta ni mo wà nínú òjò ní Lusham ládùúgbò kan tó ń pè ní Lusham. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ti Lusham o. Àtẹ̀rẹ́ ẹni tó kí mi ní Lusham lánàá kí ló dé. Ìyá mi Táíwò Kíkẹ́ Gani Olóyèdé, good morning. Ṣàlàáfíà lẹ wà. So let's join the studio now. Ká lè jẹ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó jọra wọn. Good morning, sir. Mo kí must be. Ìyá ti Koiki Media, ìyá ti gbowó ṣá. Wọ́n ní mo gbóyìn, mo kí Mr. Mike Ọlá, gbọ́ mi dáadáa. Ìyálà J. Just reason ti gbogbo lẹ̀ Twitch. Ó wà pé Twitch yẹn mo máa stream látòrí ẹ̀ nígbà kan. All of a sudden ọkọ̀ block mi ni pé èwo ni lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Twitch is meant for gaming. Àwọn tó máa ń ṣe gaming ni. Ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation ni máa lọ ń ṣe níbẹ̀ nígbà yẹn. Bó ṣe block wa nìyẹn. So I couldn't use it anymore. So Ọlámilékan ẹ̀yin tó ja ọ̀dàn mo kí gbogbo yín níbẹ̀. Ó yẹ já darapọ̀ mọ́ studio àti wà 3 minutes behind schedule. Àwọn tó máa ń play game ló máa ń lo Twitch yẹn. It's a good platform as well for for streaming. But àwọn tó máa ń ṣe gaming àwọn ló máa ń sábà lójú. Mo kí àwọn ti North. Ìyẹn kan ní long time sir. Ilẹ̀ tẹ̀lé mi àlàáfíà mo wà. All right, let's join the studio and start the program. You miss me. I'm always online now. It's just that I don't come all the time, especially Tibawa Nita. I always go. You have to follow us on the other platforms as well. Good morning, everyone. So I'm joining the studio now. So I'm going to switch to my different conversation.
Somehow it has happened, hasn't it? And it's all coming away from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. What time now? 4 minutes past the top of the hour. And I know that Yomi is in there. Nice to get in here. And therefore, wherever you are, just stay tuned and don't touch the dial. It doesn't matter what challenges you might be going through. Yes, it might be daunting, it might be that serious, you might be trying to sort yourself out. You don't have even a clue. You might be on strike as some of the labor force are on strike in Nigeria. But you know what? Someway, somehow, things will pan out. So keep on keeping on. Well, your life has not been taken by God yet. So there is hope for you. So let me say a massive good morning to my colleague and representative, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Good morning to you.
A very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank, and good morning to all our listeners and viewers around the globe. And welcome once again. The 15th day of the month of November, 2023 is 5 minutes past 11 a.m. It is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, as I did say earlier on, yes, bear with us with what is happening with that noise. The internal team have not been able to solve what is going on, but we have got the external team that will be joining this afternoon to try to see whether they can resolve that for us. So, let's bear with us. But it's not coming away from the North African and Caribbean radio London. And nice to have you all on the various platforms that you are listening to us from our non-London studio, just so like because I'm actually here and we're bringing you everything that you need to know. How are you? How is the family?
Well, we're doing very well. The family is great. Like you always ask, we're grateful that we still have, the family, living in a society that respect, almost everything that you can think of, especially when it comes to education, which we quite value mostly as well in Africa. But it seems that that is not really kicking in. Also, when it comes to, you talked about Gbenga Dana, we're going to tell you a little bit more about him this morning. He was a former governor of Ogun State in 2003, 2011, that is now asking Nigerians to go back to farm. So the family are doing very well, and I hope yours are doing great as well.
Yes, by the grace of God, everyone is doing well. We thank God. Okay, and we thank God that everyone of you on the ground of Nigeria has not happened to you. As I did say earlier on, even if you are going through some challenging times, still hold on to it. Who knows? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, now behind you have the picture of the president, and is it the vice president?
That's our new minister for information.
Okay. Hey, so please, I beg you, don't miss me. This one, I understood. This is the minister of information. Now, let's go to what the NLC has said in the Nigeria Labour Council and the various unions, trade unions. Interestingly, they are referring the government. Now, you know what? You don't obey the laws. You don't obey God rulings. So why do you think that we have to also obey? So it's virtually established. Or are they going to be forcing them and sending the DSS there to go and apprehend the local leader there, the NLC leader there? What exactly is happening?
Well, I think the president, like we said yesterday, would like to take extra precaution, because I mean we're talking about a union that has a lot of members. We're talking about a union that gives others and workers listen, even though there might be division, there might be some state that literally might want to do otherwise. But when we talk about the Nigerian Labour Congress, it's been a very, very powerful union, even though we believe that sometimes there might be a little bit of a compromise there and there. But again, the purpose of the NLC and the TUC is to support workers, especially in a very dire economic situation presently in Nigeria, that many workers are struggling. I'm going to try and get a clip of a young Nigerian talking about being an asthmatic patient, but unfortunately trying to get the drugs that is needed. We talked about the diabetics yesterday. We're now talking about an asthmatic patient that they are now struggling. Let's come back to court orders. Does the federal government obey court order? I don't think so. Even this new administration, we've seen the lapses when it comes to judiciary. Many Nigerians might not understand that, investors looked at all these before they might think of investing in a country that the judiciary might not work on their behalf. So this morning, the headline, you don't obey court orders. The Labour knocks federal government. According to the TUC, president said the organized labor was not served any restraining order not to proceed with the ongoing industrial action. With the nationwide industrial action declared by the Nigerian Labour Congress, and the trade union is now entering the second day. Remember that this is not just a day, one day. We're going to be talking about this later on Niger Voices with ample of time. This is an indefinite strike that is now going on. The organized labor has said that no court order was received from the federal government or any of its party not to proceed, just like the court refused the order to release Emefiele until there was more pressure. The court order that asked Nnamdi Kanu to be released after rendition and kidnapped from Kenya by the former president and the vice president Yemi Osinbajo, the court refused to obey. The same court order, while those 12 were moved from Soka to Abuja, court ordered them to be released, but it took a lot of fight. So you can imagine now that the federal government is talking about court order, and the Labour says, you might want to keep quiet on that. You don't even obey court order as well.
some will be perfect. Okay? That one I can assure you is going to be perfect. So don't you worry about it. But just bear with us while we yes, Remy will give you that sound right there. But Remy, when the court ruled the first time that Labour should avoid going on strike, and what was the period for? Was it an indefinite thing that the court has ruled that the Labour Congress can or the Labour unions can never go on strike, or it was meant for a particular time?
Well, there has been some court restraining, remember that, since the new administration on the May 29, the Labour and the presidency have been head to head, and they've been trying to make sure that, this strike doesn't go ahead. But it seems that the failure of the government, because this is also one of the reasons why they've come out quickly. You read that earlier, the National Security Agency, NSA Ribadu, the same Ribadu that told us yesterday that, the former President Muhammadu Buhari bankrupted Nigeria, and we hope that he will be arrested and he will be questioned, and he will then be, face the reason why under his belt for 8 years, Nigeria went into bankruptcy. But it seems that the NSA is now regretting assault on the NLC. Let me repeat that again. The NSA is the National Security Agency, is now regretting not doing something quicker, on the assault on the president of the NLC, the National Labour Congress, says suspects have now been arrested. Is it because that the strike has went ahead? I hope they've not arrested, an innocent passerby, which we know that happen all the time in Nigeria. But the National Security Advisor, Nuru Ribadu, yesterday said investigation has commenced into the assault on the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress that is on the screen, to the left-hand side next to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Joe Ajaero. The NSA also said some suspects have been arrested in connection with what took place in Owerri in Imo State on the 1st of November. But the Labour has already embarked on a nationwide strike that has now gone into the second day to seek justice over an assault on Ajaero, who was attacked when he was about to lead a protest against alleged anti-Labour practice by the current governor of Imo State, Opuzodimo, that won his election over the weekend.
Well, listen, Sister Remy, I know that Yomi is going to discuss this, the Labour strikes in Nigeria comprehensively, so bear with us. I will move more details about that. But when it comes to Ajaro's, the assault on Ajaro, how severe was it? Was it a minor thing or severe?
It was a big threat, to his life. I saw the video, and again, it's just, to some of us, you ask the question, he actually said that the police, actually, gave him to the lion. It's like giving the goat to the lion. So it was actually pushed to the thugs that works for the governor of Imo State, Opuzodima, that allowed them to beat him to stupid, and then eventually he was moved to the hospital. And it seems that, again, the question is, how do we have respect for humanity? In governance, you have to agree and disagree. We saw what took place in UK, where we've now sacked, the Home Secretary, Brother Sullivan, for utterances when it comes to, police being biased. But it seems that in Nigeria, police are not biased. If you're not in love with the politics, you are likely to be kept into the same dungeon with the criminals to be dealt with. Former governor of Ogun State in 2003-2011.
Okay, so former governor of Ogun State 2003-2011 saying that, well, go back to the farms. Now, why have the people decided not to go to the farms? We know that Dr. Chisunday, one of the things that people in their communities were being rampaged and killed, and protection or shutting those who were perpetrating this act. But now we have the former governor saying, go back to the farms. What is he talking about?
Well, he's not just even a former governor, he's now currently also the senator, senatorial east of Ogun State. He was born in 1956. These are people that had the privilege, to enjoy farming where, terrorists was not attacking them, moving from point A to B. And I'm sure as at the time Gbenga Daniel was growing up, when he was born, there was not kind of atrocity that is now taking place across Nigeria. Let me first take you through before we go back to Gbenga Daniel. I mean, we're talking about Zamfara State. I have to now harvest, if I just take about a few minutes off.
Okay. Let's just bear with us whilst you are making this. That's that. Some things out there. Wherever you are, start looking for African and Caribbean radio station. So what you want somebody to say that, you know what? We want you guys to go back to the farms. Now, he's a senator, right? Now, he's supposed to know that the necessary tools or security issues have been addressed before people will have that assurance or reassurance that they need to go to their farms or will be secure when they go to their farms. But it's not the case. That's not what is happening here. So all that we are saying is that somebody sitting there, you know what, you can go to your farms and go as fast so that we can get less than food. But what about the planning units, the headsmen there, and everything that they are doing? What about that? What has he said about that? Well, I'm going to have you back. So let's go back to Yomi for him to tell us more. What do you Yomi?
Yeah, let's take you to Zamfara State. Just yesterday, one of the headlines coming out, Nigerian farmers now forced to harvest crops before due date in Zamfara community over farm invasion, killings by the terrorists and the armed herders as well. According to the report, farmers in some communities in Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria, have resorted to harvesting their produce before the due time owing to persistent cattle invasion by the armed herders on their farmland. But what is actually, Gbenga Daniel saying? Gbenga Daniel says in one of the events that took place, in Ogun State, that the former governor is now asking Nigerians to get back to farming for the country to become one of the world's top producers of rice. The question again is, what was his own input as the governor of Ogun State in 2003 to 2011? Did he produce as many farmers that we can talk about today? But it seems that Gbenga Daniel spoke during the event in Shagamu at the opening of a training workshop. He also went further to say President Bola Tinubu-led administration is dedicated to elevating Nigeria to the status of one of the world's top producers of rice. How is going to do that with the insecurity? Let's talk about what took place in Shekperi in Oyo State. In less than few days ago, many killings, and this has got to do again with the Boko Haram terrorists attacking innocent farmers in those communities. The senator, while acknowledging that Nigeria has a great potential in rice cultivation and production, says it is necessary for the citizens to rekindle their interest in farming to meet the local consumption and also generate foreign exchange for the nation.
Now, when some of these people talk, it is like
They're not living in the real world.
Yeah, because you see what is happening there. That needs to be addressed. You not sort that all out, but you can just sit in your office, in your chair, rolling around in your air conditioning, getting all the money stuck. Those workers, those farmers, and those people are using their money to pay you, and then you make that statement. If it's here, I think by this time it's here to be running. But well, it's Nigeria.
They don't resign in Nigeria.
Yesterday and it's died down, but it looks like it's still going on. Are they ready to call former President Buhari, or because he said that if you dare attack him, he's going to call Nigerians?
But he can't go to Niger because Nigeria doesn't have any. We already closed the border on Buhari. Buhari is going nowhere. You'll probably end up in UK, and probably maybe the National Crime Agency will go after him just like we went after Designing. Well, you're quite right. I mean, it's quite important that under the belt of the former President Muhammadu Buhari for 8 years, we were talking about so many things that went wrong, but we can now confirm, just as the National Security Advisor Nuru Ribadu says, under the belt of President Muhammadu Buhari, the country was totally collapsed. Well, the question then is, would Buhari be called, to questioning? Will he be, brought forward? Nobody knows. But like you said, that is not going anywhere, as many Nigerians, it's still coming out in some of the many headlines, dailies coming out of Nigeria, this morning as well. But one thing is, we know that Tinubu had a lot of relationship as the one that brought in Buhari in 2015. After Buhari tried a few times, he failed. He couldn't get himself together under the CPC. Tinubu decided, well, let's tell you and teach you how politics is played. Eventually the collapse of the CPC into one body led to Buhari becoming the president. But as we speak right now, the country is going through a lot of difficulties. I was listening to the president team yesterday in Saudi Arabia. A $50 billion, not for Nigeria, is for the whole Africa, by the, Saudi group there, but they're going to be giving large chunk of that as a loan to Nigeria as well. Again, this morning, the Central Bank of Nigeria extend validity of the old Naira note indefinitely, so you can still keep using it. But one thing is, election is over. It is time to reform economy now. NAPAN tells President Bola Tinubu. The Newspaper Proprietary Association of Nigeria have called on President Bola Tinubu, federal government, to move speedily with his economy reform program, saying elections are over, but it seems that Nuru Ribadu is saying that Tinubu's hands are now tied because Nigeria is bankrupt. Don't believe all that, Mr. Archie. When the politicians are telling you that we are fighting corruption, they are the most corrupt as well. We've seen, dossier and evidence of how, the mismanagement of the forex. Remember that, the foreign reserve, started, going down like it's dancing, yo-yo. But like you said, the question is, what are the indices? What was Buhari doing with the money? Even evidence says now that some of the OPL, the oil that we have, has been used to borrow money in advance. So we are now literally struggling as a country, to move forward when it comes to Buhari borrowed a lot. Borrowing is not a problem as long as what we are borrowing can be used properly as well. But one thing that we borrowed for now is the Nigeria, which is about $2 billion, is currently stuck because Nigeria do not have any cordial relationship anymore with Niger. But again, there's so many other areas as well. So going back to what the Newspaper Proprietors Association are saying this morning, the association in a communique signed by its president, Malam Yusuf Kabiru, and the General Secretary, Mrs. Angela Emua, after its 2023 annual general meeting that was held on the 8th of November at the Secretariat in Maryland, Lagos, called on government to provide much needed support to the long suffering of Nigerians. Many Nigerians are suffering today. Benga Daniel says we should go back to farm. Many Nigerians want to go back to farm, but they are being attacked. The economy is not doing very well. As we speak this morning, the dollar is still almost 1,000 plus to the dollar, almost 1,400 as at yesterday to the pound. The exchange rate is not helping. Many of us that are outside might be taking advantage of it, but in reserve, going back to those in Nigeria, the inflation is quite high. I talked about the 30% increase, next month. As we speak right now, it's about 26.6%, from the National Bureau of Statistics. So Nigerians are really, really struggling to get things together as we speak right now. Once again, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
hand over to him in a moment. But, I mean, so what has been the reaction from the Buhari waters? Has any of, I mean, we had all Laya Mohammed and all those people who are spewing all sorts. Now, has any of them come out to say, or decline that statement that has been made?
Well, I was waiting for Garba Shehu, because I know Garba Shehu, is one man that always, protect, Buhari, but he hasn't said anything yet. But as soon as, probably maybe before the Niger Voice says, maybe Garba Shehu would say something. But for now, Garba Shehu has not said anything when it comes to, Buhari being now accused of bankrupting Nigeria, by the present administration.
Well, maybe by the time we have Niger Voices, there would have been a response. If not, and the PSS, the EFCC, and all those bodies getting themselves ready, raising their boots up to go after Buhari and his henchmen, as I don't ask, well, you want to know more, you have to make sure that your dials are logged on Star Radio UK. Exactly at 18 hours, that will be GMT, right? Okay. Or 17 hours if you are in Nigeria, that is,
1900 hours, yes.
1900 hours in Nigeria. That is 7 p.m. in Nigeria, right? GMT is going to be 18 hours. All right, then. So let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the round. Over to you, Yomi.
28 minutes past, we'll take you straight to more of those headlines coming out of Nigeria this morning. Quite a lot, when it comes to Nigeria. There's a lot of things happening simultaneously, from politics to business, to corruption cases. Let's go straight to Ogun State again, the state of the former and the current Senator Gbenga Daniel that we've been talking about. The strike is having a big toll, as darkness continues to kick in a country that doesn't have a full 24 hours electricity. Remember that, the NLC protest means that I was speaking to one of our team in Ekiti State. Returning home, he said that there is no electricity due to the NLC strike. Patients are now stranded, staff chased out of Ogun Teaching Hospital. Patient at Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital, Shagamu, the same location that Gbenga Daniel was speaking. Maybe you should have talked about that more. On Wednesday, are left unattended to by doctors and nurses. This is as the staff of the hospital comply with the directives of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the trade union that workers should embark on an indefinite strike. So you can see that as much as, nobody wants to see a situation where, hospital is shut down, services are no longer available for, for the masses that are already struggling. We talked about the young man that is now crying for the cost of, drugs for someone that has asthmatic, patient. But again, it has to do with the government doing what it has to do to make sure that such strike does not happen in the first place. But again, doctors, nurses, midwives, laboratory officials, record keepers, and the other staff of the Olabisi Onabanjo University Teaching Hospital were seen returning home saying, "We have joined the strike, no work today." So what a very sad situation as we speak right now. Many of those who are traveling will be affected as well. And let's take you straight to some of the other headline as well. Once again, this is still Star Radio UK. I'm just getting a breaking news. A Nigerian rapper Oladipo is dead. A Nigerian pop star Oladipo Olabode Oladimeji, more popular as Oladipo, has died. According to a statement that was posted on his IG, he passed away at exactly 10:14 p.m. yesterday. May his soul rest in peace. In the late hours of yesterday, videos made rounds on social media of the Lala Kuku Corona seen to have collapsed as his friends surrounded him. Before the video started to circulate, Oladipo had taken to his Instagram story to cry out for help. In the post, he mentioned one of his friends and asked where he was. The rapper complained about how he had tried to reach the friend on the phone several times, and they knew he didn't like to be left alone in the house, especially with his condition. The statement noted that Oladipo had kept his battle within himself for over 2 years. Oladipo's body is now with his family, and the funeral plan will be announced shortly. We pray for him just as we continue to hope that justice will come for Mohbad as well. Let's go straight to some of the other headlines as well. This is still the Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, as we go into some of the other headlines. Atiku calls for merger of opposition parties to challenge APC. Well, it seems that Atiku wants to do the same Emilokan, which Tinubu did to bring in Buhari in 2015, but he will have to wait till 2027. The presidential aspirant of the PDP, People's Democratic Party in 2023, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, said yesterday when he hosted the National Executive Committee of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar believes the merger of Nigerians' opposition parties will help in forming a stronger front against the ruling of APC. Well, he couldn't even sort out his internal party crisis. 5 governors from Makinde to Wike refused to back Atiku at this loss of his presidential ambition. He couldn't even step down, or he couldn't agree with Peter Obi. Peter Obi eventually marched away and went to become the obedient. But eventually, it seems that Atiku says that in 2023, for him now, it seems that they have to come together so that they can be able to win the next election. Well, that will be in the next 3.5 years for now. Nigerians Eileen Williams set a world record for the longest handmade wig. That's quite an interesting one. It seems that many Nigerians still want to set the world record, but it seems that Hilda Bassey lost as the longest cooking has now been taken away from him. Oshiomhole doesn't have the sufficient information, strike not a political. That is coming from what Ajaro went to do in a way it was not political. It seems that, remember, Oshiomhole was also at one time the National Union of Labour member, a president rather, the president of the Trade Union Congress, Festus Osifo, on Wednesday took a strike at the former president of the Nigerian Labour Congress himself, Adams Oshiomhole, for criticizing the ongoing industrial action by the organized labor over an attack on the present NLC leader, Joe Ajaro. Well, it seems that maybe this Ajaro wants to be the next governor as well. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. I think Adams Oshiomhole, doesn't have sufficient info because he's busy with the national politics as well. Let's take 2 more. We're still wondering what went wrong between 177 Nigerians that have now been returned from Saudi Arabia. But again, the Saudi refused to allow them to get into the country. As we talked about the aircraft, we talked about the aviation industry. It seems that again, we take you to Rivers State. 62 passengers escaped death as the aircraft skid off the runway in Rivers State. It was just on Sunday last week, we talked about one that skid at the Abuja runway. At least 62 passengers escaped death yesterday as an aircraft belonging to the Nigerian airline Value Jet skid off the runway at the Port Harcourt International Airport in Rivers State. The incident caused panic among the passengers in the oil-rich state after the jet reportedly landed at about 1500 hours, and the passengers and the 5 flight crew members were all on board. The Port Harcourt International Airport is situated at Omagua, Ikuwere local government area of the River State, a state that is blessed with vast amount of crude oil. Is one of the, apart from Lagos State, you'll be talking about River State, but it is just as every state, they are not interested in making sure that safety is their top priority. We're talking about flights that are just less than 1 hour. You might even be better off to travel to Australia because it is not just only cheap, it is even much more cheaper than going to Nigeria. I was listening to a brother that traveled to Australia from London, and he says he paid less than £1,000 to Australia. He would have paid more going to Nigeria, that is just 6 hours. He was questioning the BA and the Virgin director why he has to pay less to travel to Australia. That is about 14 hours from Luton, as against 6 hours to Lagos or Abuja, and you have to pay more. It shows again, a country like Nigeria is no longer as respected as we might think. But as we talk about the Saudi government pledge to invest in Nigeria refinery and also support the CBN and the federal government. The Nigeria has 3 refineries, but none is in operation now while we wait for the Dangote refinery that was commissioned earlier this year. The facility is yet to commence operation as well. But the Saudi Arabian government has now promised to invest in revamping of the Nigerian refinery, according to the Minister of Information and Communication, this time around, not Lai Mohammed, but Idris Mohammed. I hope it's not the same Lai Mohammed that we had for a very long time during Buhari, that kept on telling Nigerians that everything was just perfect until now. We knew that Lai Mohammed was the biggest liar because, we are now being told that the bankruptcy of Nigeria today happened under the belt of the former president, under the same cabinet, Lai Mohammed and the rest of them as well. So you can tell that, lies continue to be built upon lies, and I don't know why we're getting such. So because of the time constraint, I'm going to go straight to the social media, come back again to the studio, but at 1800 hours, the focus is, how soon will Nigeria be able to enjoy, going back to all the services with the strike going on, with the federal government do whatever it can do to save many as well. I saw, a cartoon that was put together yesterday. Let's see if we can bring that up. That was put together by Steve Hank, on Bola Tinubu's government. And that I've got it right here. And let's see if I can tell you what exactly was written underneath as well as we go into the social media. Steve Hank is a professor of applied economics with about almost 678,000 followers on the X space. Yesterday, he talked about a lot from country to country, from Ghana. This morning, 2 hours ago, he says, the Nigerian Naira is history. The Central Bank of Nigeria should be mothballed and put in the museum to save the Naira, should install a currency board like the one it had from 1912 to 1959. And what is actually saying that even as at 1912, Nigeria was not yet amalgamated. And we know that the CBN Act came in 1958, 2 years before the current CBN Act was operating. But yesterday again, he posted, which I'm going to read out before we move into what is trending on the X this morning. Once again, this is to the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, he actually talked about the Ghana one. He says Ghana is the largest debtor in Africa to the IMF. President Akufo-Addo is making yet another deal with the devil. Interesting time ahead. What it says are called President Bola Tinubu's requested $2.8 billion in extra funding for the urgent issues has been approved by lawmakers. It includes, among other things, funds for yacht, air fleet, renovations of the presidential quarters. Tinubu's Nigeria equals waste, fraud, and abuse. Interesting time ahead. So what is actually trending at 11:39 this morning? It seems Kaduna is trending at about 11,000. Not too sure what is going on in Kaduna. Funke Akindele, I know she's an actress that wanted to be the deputy governor in Lagos State, but eventually they lost out. I'm not sure why she's trending under entertainment this morning. Mohbad is trending as well this morning, and we can tell that Obedient is trending. But Buhari is still the biggest trending in Nigeria this morning, and I'm sure it's got to do with what took place. So let's look at what at Morris_Moyo says. So these people know that the country is bankrupt, and they are buying yacht and billionaire SUV. Meanwhile, Ribadu said we are bankrupt. Buhari quickly invited NTA for interview. Well, it seems that Buhari has had an interview, but I don't have it yet. Maybe we might have it before 1800 hours. As president, he had never had a single presidential media chat with NTA. Hosseini Rufai said, they play now, they blame Buhari. Buhari said they blame Jonathan. Chidi Odenaku said, congratulations to official APC. And it seems that Buhari is being battered. And the last one is coming from Big Week also say Buhari left Nigeria's debt at 77 trillion. Tinubu has moved it now to 87 trillion in just 5 months. Why you are supporting and standing by the mandate, make you they aware of that statistics. Wow.
Interesting what is happening. But I hope that tomorrow we'll be able to bring the virus interview with NTA.
But the question is, he was never interested in granting interviews. So what could lead to this interview, in NTA now? I mean, he had NTA in his pocket for 8 years, and we were begging him to come and speak to us, but he doesn't want to. But right now, it seems that Buhari has something to say. To remove the nama in his mouth.
Yeah, listen, this is China has put across this morning. Bishop, let me say thank you very much. He says, he said there's been blackout since Monday night to today in Alimusho, LGA, Lagos. Everywhere blackout to today. 3 days blackout, still counting. And he goes on, he says, Saudi Arabia deport Nigerian, Germany, deport Nigerians also. The rest is UK, Japan, USA, and Canada. Okay, so he said that's all peculiar to Nigeria. Nigerians will be sent back home from nations around the world, and some of the Nigerian personal financial accounts will be frozen and taken. I've said these as at last year. Well, if you have a president who is said to have been forged his certificate, then don't think that everybody who has a certificate but I've done something, something dodgy. But well, the Supreme Court has ruled, and he's a president, so we are quiet about that. It will be more obvious from next year, 2024. So the national is predicting that one again. It is indirect response from international organizations to break the SO country called Nigeria. So you see how I say SO? Yes. And then he says 1,250 naira to $1 this morning. Nigeria. How market? Okay, finally he said 1,000 naira gives 460 sefa in Benin Republic border. Nigeria, how market to Nigeria only, Benin Republic also. It remains a question. Wow, if Nigeria is only Benin, then that is a big.
And the good news coming from those of us that are, those that are still going through whatever immigration or, asylum seekers, from the Supreme Court says government plan to deport asylum seeker to Rwanda is unlawful. Could that be because we've removed Sullivan Braveman? So it seems that nobody's will be going to Rwanda anytime soon. Well, we'll focus again on the NLC, has the government done enough before allowing this protest to go ahead, or was the government just to delay for allowing that protest to go ahead now that it's now gone into the second day? How soon should we have that coming back? So the focus is going to be on the NLC indefinite strike this evening. I remember my mom got caught up some few years back during Jonathan. We couldn't get her back to UK as quickly as possible because no flight was flying in and out. So it seems that the second day is still something that the government can discuss and bring it down to a conclusion. If otherwise it goes the third day, the fourth day, you can imagine what Nigerians will be reacting on. From my information, the president, as at Monday, was still in Saudi Arabia after he had his own, lesser Hajj. As most of the time they travel to Saudi Arabia, they have the lesser Hajj. But I can tell you that that is the information I have. I know that the president doesn't give that information. It's not like Europe, where your president or your prime minister is. I hope he's not having a stopover in France for any kind of business dealing or medical treatment. But the last update, and this is coming now from the official page of the X of the president, on November 11, I joined the key government and business leaders today at the Saudi, and that's all we, at the investment roundtable in Riyadh, and nothing more than that. So nobody knows where the president is. So now it's still a ghost until it surfaces again. Bye for now, Mr. Archie.
Bye-bye. Well, listeners, your first will touch. I'm going to just crack on straight. But let me say thank you very much to Mr. Live and to every one of you who was posting comments and those who were with us on the various platforms. I salute you. But I promise you, whatever happens, whether even the engineers are able to solve.
Oh, Nigeria. One bastard country. I go find something, I go chop and start getting ready for studio. It's another long day. Give me time, you see. Still 11:46. We can still do one or two Probably maybe just under 1 hour. Mm? Think I should 1 hour there. I think I should open the phone line. What do you think? I gotta switch things around. I gotta stop this. Hello, join the Koiki Media or the other platforms. Let me open the phone line. I can go live on the Koiki Media now. We encourage you to join us all the time. It's because we just want you to join us. We love you. Join us so that you don't miss anything. So what I'm gonna do, how your end. So I'm gonna end this because if we pick the Star Radio alone to go on the backup on the Koiki Media. So I'm gonna go live on the Koiki Media now. I'm gonna stop this so that I'll download it. Then I'm gonna come back on again on this quickly so you won't miss too much. And probably we'll just do probably less than an hour and then we'll start again. Should we do that? So let's end this. I'm gonna end this as well. Open the phone line. The one I've done in the morning, I want to get your views on that, your opinion on that, so that way we balance the conversation. So that common man so sorrow. We still talk on the Benga Daniel. Jagba Ton Sole no pe, the Benga Daniel is telling you nonsense. So let me stop this and I'll come back straight away. So Moki Bugwalen can say very good morning. As now I think I got Kilotu Akpa. Tani Rapai on a lot dips. How many of you know him? So sick the learning. What a very sad situation. So sick the learning. Nigerian rapper Ola Dips, popularly known as Ola De Pupo, Ola Bode, Ola De Meji. Only la Kukulala. Show local la Kukulala. Sure. On the social media of La Kukulala, Kalama for Indicare, sure. You could not in the final. So, Kosabwe, Santoni Ku, Kalam from Alemi Kungu. Saudi no they invest, pledge to invest in our refinery. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Saudi no they invest. But you see too many things. There is the system goes slow there. So let me cut it down a little bit. Saudi no they invest in refinery. Nigerian government Paluro. You don't buy your budget. Transition Company TLC has condemned an online report attributed to its head of fears that there will be national blackout on the account of ongoing nationwide strike. She found one not telling idiots. Found one in found one in honor. So Shaparomo in it. Ta ló ní ná ládùúgbò wọn láti àná. Kí ló lè pa bọ̀bọ̀ yìí náà? Sure. Buhari ti sọ ó yẹ ká lọ mú K1 the ultimate now because òun ló ní Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ mo ní láti pa ilé because mo ní the phone ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí bíbá ẹjọ́ ẹ bá darapọ̀ mọ́ Ọláyọmí Kóìkì àṣewà live lórí yẹn I gotta end this now ẹ ṣe gan ni Tokyo 778 ta ló tún wà níbẹ̀ Mr. Kànní please join us on the Koiki Media on Instagram thank you so much. Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ti gbọ́ ó dà kí mo sì lórin yẹn lọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wá jáde wá tí mo bá ń prepare mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin yá wa mo lè kí dáadáa nísìn because lẹ́ǹkan yẹn a kò ṣe fast ní àráyè kì so we're gonna go live on the Koiki Media itself. Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ a ti gbọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ kan lọ́nà kù ń tẹ̀dà gan sẹ̀ àṣẹ báwo mo ṣe fẹ́ fi picture wọ̀nyí nísìn okay mo software tá a kì í lò yìí wọ́n pè ní Nigerian rapper Oladipo Oladips he's only 28 years old kí ni mo ṣe sọ láàárọ̀ yìí kọ́nà fi kú kẹ́ kí ni mo ṣe sọ láàárọ̀ yìí mo ní wọ́n ní 50 kí ni mo pè life expectancy in Nigeria àárọ̀ yìí láti ń sọ àbí abẹ́tí gbàgbé you know we talked about life expectancy tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ 52 years old arákùnrin tó kù yìí nísìnyí people die as well abroad but 52 mo ṣe sọ láàárọ̀ yìí nínú program mo ń bẹ̀ jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ gbà sí fún yín ká kọ́kọ́ máa gbọ́ Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ náà kọ́lọ́n forí ìjì kó fọ̀run kẹ 28 years old ó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ayé jẹ́ irọ́ ok ẹ ká play anthem náà kọ́kọ́. I'm not sure whether I started this YouTube properly. Lórí tó ń rò bí yóyò báyìí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wá náà pé mo ní orin yẹn Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ tí n bá ti delete ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gbé Wàsíù náà báyìí ni ẹ ká sì gbọ́ ilé náà mo rò pé mo ní níbí báyìí.
Ọlọ́run ni mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yẹn o gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ fún bàbá mi láyé bàbá mi ò tí ì yọ̀ǹda mẹ́sàn-án fún mi ń bẹ̀ ó kọ̀ mi ju ti bàbá mi lọ. gbogbo àti bọ́lẹ̀ bọ́lẹ̀ ti bọ bàbá mi ojúmọ̀ ní mọ́kàn mọ́ dàkọ̀ mi nìkan àyídà kẹ́ sọ́n dáadáa tàbí kẹ́ sọ́n burúkú ẹ̀ sàṣọ kan omi lọ́lọ́run fún bí n bá sì kú ẹ̀ lè gbà ṣe mí ṣe. Ọlọ́run ni mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún yẹn o gbogbo nǹkan tó lọ fún bàbá mi láyé bàbá mi ò tí ì yọ̀ǹda mẹ́sàn-án fún mi ń bẹ̀ ó kọ̀ mi ju ti bàbá mi lọ. gbogbo àti bọ́lẹ̀ bọ́lẹ̀ ti bọ bàbá mi ojúmọ̀ ní mọ́kàn mọ́ dàkọ̀ mi nìkan àyídà kẹ́ sọ́n dáadáa tàbí kẹ́ sọ́n burúkú ẹ̀ sàṣọ kan omi lọ́lọ́run fún bí n bá sì kú ẹ lè gbà ṣe mí ṣe.
Ọlọ́run ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹjọ́ àgbélé náà.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀ a máa gbé wálẹ̀.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀.
Wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ epo àwọn á di 200 á di bàbá. Ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀ a máa gbé wálẹ̀.
Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀ ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀.
Ṣé ti fọkàn balẹ̀ báyìí nísìn àbẹ́ẹ̀ ti fọkàn balẹ̀ ṣé ti fi ọkàn balẹ̀ mo kí ní ọ̀dọ́ yín lọ́hùn kí lágó wí ẹ̀yin ti tòkè lọ́hùn grammar First Bank ṣé dáadáa lè jí mà ẹ ti fọkàn balẹ̀ báyìí. Our politicians they are criminals ni wọ́n irọ́ ti pọ̀ jù.
It cannot be well with my enemy. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with your enemy. No matter what they're doing. One by me, there, one by me, there. No matter what they're doing. One by there, one by there. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with my enemy. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with your enemy. No matter what they're doing.
It cannot be well with
my enemy. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with your enemy. No matter what they're doing. One by me, there, one by me, there. No matter what they're doing. One by there, one by there. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with my enemy. No matter what they're doing. It cannot be well with your enemy. No matter what they're doing.
It shall not be well with Nigeria. It shall be well with Nigeria. Nigeria will happen to you. There was a lot of killings that took place, yesterday. A lot of killings. you know. Ẹ ti fọkàn balẹ̀. Grandma náà ti fọkàn balẹ̀, Mr. Koyi. Ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀. A máa mú wálẹ̀. Tinubu say, may we go put our mind at rest. Everything will be fine. The question is everything fine in Nigeria right now? Is everything fine? Emma Paro. Is everything fine in Nigeria? Everything is not fine at all. Things are becoming very difficult. Ṣé ká ṣe fọkàn balẹ̀? Ẹ̀yin APC mo lẹ́wà, ẹ wá bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. Mo fẹ́ kẹ́ pè wọlé sórí program láàárọ̀ yìí. Gbogbo àwọn APC mo tẹ̀ ti bínú láàárọ̀ yìí. If you're a member of the APC or you're a member of the ruling party, I want you to call into the program. +44 74 044 05 917. WhatsApp only. Ẹ wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ṣé ká ṣe fọkàn balẹ̀? Should we put our mind at rest that Tinubu still have? It looks like no more don't. Okay, yes, definitely, yeah. Okay, they were on it. Should we shake off your balẹ̀? Mr. Yes, very difficult. Gone new. Honorable Samuel, only Baba Koyi can heal you. If you know, okay. Now we have callers. So I got a back call. If you know, I'm going to put so I got a back call. Hello, fucking balẹ̀. Hello, caller. Hello, Yawa. Ẹ fẹ́ dá sórí ètò ni.
Ẹ káàsán, ẹ kú ètò.
Ètò ni ẹ mà. Àmọ́ tí kìíní ti kọ́.
Orí pé ṣe prógrámù lánàá ni mo ṣe pè.
Okay. Àtẹ̀gbà kọ́ lánàá. Ẹ ti wà lórí program náà nísìnyí. À ń gbọ́ yín nísìnyí.
Wọ́n ní bàbá tó sọ̀rọ̀ ní wípé òun fẹ́ ra akíní asúnmá èyí là. Ara àwọn APC member ni.
Àmọ́ mọ́ dáadáa náà kò ń ṣe àjòjì wa. Mọ́ dáadáa.
Ara àwọn tó lọ jẹja. Wọ́n lọ jẹja l'Ábùjá. Tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kó àwọn èèyàn ń gbàgbọ́ ní pé kọ́ bá dìbò fún Tinubu. Nígbà yẹn, ara wọn ni.
Okay. So kí ló dé tó ń complain? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan? Kí ló dé tó ń complain?
Ó ti jẹ breakfast ẹ. Ẹ rí pé gbogbo ti jẹ breakfast wọ́n gbà ká sọ fún ẹ pé kọ́ bá dìbò wọn ṣàwá ló. Àwọn apariwo ń sìn. Ṣé àwọn tó dìbò fún yẹn ṣé kò yẹ kó máa tọ́jú ẹ̀? Kò yẹ kó máa tọ́jú wọn. Ṣé ẹnìkan tí mo fẹ́ dá sí ni Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún tó sọ pé káwọn èèyàn máa lọ sí farm. Kókó fámìlì àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Kókó fámìlì ẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ kókó wọn lọ sí farm níbi tó ti ń pa àwọn èèyàn. Ojú ìdó ló wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àtàwọn ẹbí ẹ̀ àtàwọn ọmọ wọn. Wọ́n ti káwọn ọmọ wọn lọ sí abroad. Kókó wọn lọ sínú oko. Kọ́ lọ máa dáko táwọn Nàìjíríà máa jẹ. Àwọn kan náà kó tẹ́rọ́rìsì wọlé ni. Àwọn náà kó tẹ́rọ́rìsì wọlé.
Irú wàhálà wọn làwọn kọ̀ sí báyìí pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà báyìí.
Àwọn náà kó tẹ́rọ́rìsì wọlé nígbà tó fẹ́ dìbò ńgbà yẹn. Wọ́n gba àwọn politician èdè alba àdúrà ṣe máa ń sọ. Àwọn èèyàn wa náà ṣì ń bílíìfù ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ. Àwọn èèyàn wa ṣì ń tẹ̀lé ọ̀rọ̀ wọn. Kò yẹ kó bílíìfù gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí politician bá sọ mọ́ láyéláyé. Because irọ́ làwọn pa ẹ wò ó sì ẹ̀ ní rí wọn o. Tó bá wá dìbò election ìpínlẹ̀ máa rí gbogbo wọn. Tá máa wá bọ́ síta tá máa parọ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n lè ṣe wọ́n máa ní wọ́n ṣe. Torí tó fẹ́ dìbò tó fẹ́ kọ́ dìbò fún ẹ máa rí wọn ládùúgbò ẹ máa rí wọn. Tó bá ti dìbò fún wọn tó gbogbo wọn sá padà lọ sí Àbújá. Àbújá ni gbogbo wọn lẹ̀ ní rí politician ẹ̀ ní rí wọn nígbà tó wá ṣe campaign. Ẹ̀ ní rí wọn. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ebi Mr. Koiki. Ṣẹ́wọ́n pé mo ti máa ń sọ statement yẹn ṣe pé ńgbà tí mo máa ń pè sórí program yìí pé wọ́n máa jẹ mo yóò yà. Nípa wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní tọ́sọ pé àwọn làfẹ́ wá dá ogun lẹ̀ sí Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n jẹ stupid and bastard jà. Gbogbo ọmọ ti ń pariwo sí. Kí lẹ sọ? Wọ́n náà wáyọ. Lẹ́fẹ́ dógun lẹ̀ nígbà tá a fẹ́ yọ wọ́n kúrò nínú wàhálà nínú èyí tí politician kó wọn sí. Wọ́n á jẹ mo yóò yà bọ́ sí wa. Wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wọ́n pa ẹ̀wòjá tó pariwo tó ní òun tẹ̀jà. Nípa wọn ni kán dìbò bí wọn bí ẹ ti rí fídíò yẹn mo wò lọ́dọ̀ Máyégún Epo wọn ní pé káwọn lọ dìbò àwọn ti dìbò olódò dẹ́kítì kan. À ń sọ pé kẹ́ má dìbò.
Ṣé mọ̀ pé that particular video tẹ bá rí àwọn èèyàn bó ṣe àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá bó ṣe bú mi ní orí Twitter. Ẹ mọ̀ pé torí ìyá yẹn sọ pé bóyá ká ti jẹ́ kí Igbo ṣe àbí nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀, but it doesn't matter, you know, it's not on that line làwọn àwọ̀ anyway. Tẹ bá rí bó ṣe attack àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá lórí Twitter lórí X space. Ọmọ àfẹ́.
Ọmọ àlè ní.
Ẹ bá kọ́ orí mi máa gbórí mi wálé. Ẹ bá lórí ibú mi.
Gbogbo wọn máa jẹ mo yóò yà gbogbo wọn máa jókòjá wọn ta kẹ lọ pé káwà lọlé àwọn dẹ lọlé fún pọpọsì ni àwọn lọlé fún pọpọsì afẹlẹ ṣe kan lé ni wọn jẹ mo yóò yà anybody tí bá ti délé báyìí mi ya ní gbélé àbọ̀dọ̀ gbélé ni kẹwàá ní ẹfẹ wá kí mi ẹfẹ wá gbowó tó wà lọ́wọ́ mi èmi gan ájọ orí gbàgàdì kẹmọ dìbò ẹni gbàgàdì kẹmọ dìbò ẹ̀dá wa ló wá sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò lè wọ́ọ̀kì ẹ̀dá wa ló ẹbí bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bú wa ẹni Koiki ni ó ti bàbá olóyè Sunday Igboho bí pé bàbá olóyè Sunday Igboho jẹ́ bí ọmọ ekele wọn ọmọ ọ̀kan tí wọ́n jẹ́ bí bèbí pé Koiki ẹ máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe lọ wọ́n tẹ̀sẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni wọ́n á jẹ mo yóò yàgbọ́ sí wa wọn tí mọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan àwọn táwa láàbùrọ̀dà àsọ́fà à ń jẹ nǹkan tó wù wá à ń wọlé bó ṣe wù wá lè rìn anytime tó wù wá kò sí security kò síyàn tó fẹ́ jí wa gbé àánú wọn là ń ṣe pé kí wọ́n má lọ dìbò kò sí nǹkan tó ẹlẹ́jọ́ fẹ́ ṣe fún wa àti ìdìbò títí nígbàtà wa kékeré náà ní Nàìjíríà màdó máa dà kò dáa àárèrè Nàìjíríà tó lọ títí tó lúkálùkù fi sá kúrò Nàìjíríà tó fi wá àtijọ́ àti mu wá sí abroad àwọn politician náà ń kówó tó ṣe lọ yáwó yẹn náà pín láàrin ara wọn ẹ̀ẹ́jà mo yóò ya ìtìmọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan fi sákòókè máa bẹ́tò kan mú wa bí jẹ́ mo ní kí sáré pè yín kí sáré dá sétò.
Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ dá sétò náà ẹ̀yin náà lè pè wọlé +44 74 04405 917 àsìkò tẹ́yìn náà máa fi sọ̀rọ̀ kó má dẹ̀ pé Koiki nìkan ni ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ torí ìgbà ilẹ̀ máa ní Koiki ìwọ ló kúkú sọ àwa kọ́ la bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ èwo tún délé ìkẹ́ oríṣiríṣi ló wà lórí Instagram so tẹ́yìn náà bá ní nǹkan tẹ́ fi sọ sí ẹ pè wọlé lórí Twitter lórí WhatsApp. Prince Ayọ̀ ní I hate that country called Nigeria. Kí ló dé? Kí ni Nigeria ṣe fún yín? Ẹ pè wọlé kẹ́yìn náà dá sí àgbà Twitter kìíní ẹ pè wọlé ní àfún yín ní 4 minutes after 4 minutes. Mo kí kábíyèsí ọ̀nà ọ̀fífẹ́.
Hello, Mr. Koiki.
Ẹ káwọ̀ sórí ìtẹ̀gbọ́n mi Frank.
Ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́.
Àwọn ni ẹ sà.
Ṣé bọ́ sórí ètò sí mo rí pé tí ń ṣètò lọ́wọ́?
Àwọn ti wà lórí ètò látẹ̀lẹ́.
Ó ga ọ̀. Ọlọ́ọ̀ jáde ní kọ́ pa wá tán ọjà kò ní pa wá tán gbogbo èyí tá à ń ṣe yìí náà. Good morning sir kọ́lọ́run jọ kó gbà wá náà ni ó yẹ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ lọ bó ṣe yẹ kó lọ wọ́n ń pa wá lójoojúmọ́ èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀jọ́ ẹ̀ dìde ẹjọ́ pípa yìí ti pọ̀ jù wọ́n pa wá ní wèrè ń jọ sí. Chief Sunday Igboho jáde ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀rù bá wọn Fúlàní wọ́n sá padà sẹ́yìn ọba Ìwéré sọ wípé àwọn ti wà òkè kí wọ́n má dà sí àwọn tó ti pa yẹn ẹ̀mí wọn ti lọ nìyẹn gbàtọ́ kúrò ní Ìwéré wọ́n bọ́ sí ẹ̀hún kí lórúkọ ẹ̀hún Ṣẹpẹtẹ́rì nígbà tó kúrò ń Ìwéré yẹn gan ṣé wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn níbòmíì ṣé wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn níbòmíì ṣebí ìtẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ gbọ́ ṣebí ìtẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ gbọ́ wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn ń bò mí kó tó di pọ́ńtì lọ ṣe Ṣẹpẹtẹ́rì torí pé àwọn Ṣẹpẹtẹ́rì yóò dìde tiwọn òun ló fàkẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ gbogbo eléyìí báyìí a dẹ̀ jókòó síbẹ̀ a dẹ̀ ń sọ ẹ jókòó síbẹ̀ wọ́n ń pa yín wọ́n ń ṣe léyìí fún yín kẹ́rù lè máa bà yín bíi tàwọn Haúsá kẹ́ má bàa lè sọ̀rọ̀ kẹ́ má bàa lè dún pẹ́kẹ́ at the end of the day a dì í pé Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní a máa sọ pé òun lòun ní ilẹ̀ yìí òun lòun jọba ń bì báyìí torí pé wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣe pípa yẹn ẹ lè sọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ tó ní Ìgbòho bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ló fẹ́ dá wàhálà lẹ̀ ẹ jọ ṣé wàhálà ò ti wà nílẹ̀ àwọn tó tún fẹ́ kọ́ ìyà fún yín èèyàn fi ara ẹ̀ nílẹ̀ tókè ẹ̀yin ẹ má sọ̀rọ̀ mo fẹ́ kọ ìyà fún yín ẹni yẹn lẹ́yìn tó máa tún dìde ipe ó ń tẹ́ dá wàhálà lẹ̀ ní ìfẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ tí ò dá láàárọ̀ yìí ọlọ́run Yorùbá ló gọ̀ jù Yorùbá àwa la gọ̀ jù àwa ni a gọ̀ jù ẹ tó gọ̀ jù àwa ni ìlú òyìnbó táwa wà yìí bá ṣe ń débẹ̀ ó bá bú èèyàn àti wà tí yóò jà lásán gan Wọ́n máa wù ẹ́ ni.
So, you know, as much as we are telling
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, wọ́n máa wù ẹ́ ni. Orúkọ máa wà lọ́dọ̀ ọlọ́pàá ni. A máa sọ wípé òun ló ń dàpọ̀ ìyàwó tó ń pa ìyàwó. Ẹ̀ẹ́dì ìwọlé
encourage ní láti fáwọn èèyàn wa nísìnyí pé kọ́ òde àwọn olóṣèlú wọn responsible for the problem that we are facing right now. They must hold them responsible. They must hold them responsible for the crime. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ hold wọn responsible.
Ẹ lọ sílé wọn.
So àwọn
bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹ lọ sílé wọn. Ẹ lọ sílé wọn. Ẹ lọ sílé wọn. Kẹlọ dábẹ̀rú. Kẹdálé wọn orí káwọn náà máa ní fọkànbalẹ̀. Nígbà tó báyìí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa sọ̀rọ̀. Torí nígbà tó ń pa yín tẹ jókòó tẹ́tẹ́rẹ́. Wọ́n tún wá ṣe nǹkan kan bàbá mi. Wọ́n mú àwọn Fúlàní méjì kan mi lọ́tọ́ ti mú wọn mọ́ olórí prógráàmù kan. Ní bí 10 minutes ago mo ṣe tan YouTube mo ṣe wà lórí YouTube mo kàn rí ní. Lọ́wọ́ máwọn méjì kan. Wọ́n tún wá ń fi wọ́n hàn ẹ̀yìn Yorùbá. Àwọn ọlọ́dẹ mú wọn tán. Ẹ tún wá ń ṣe YouTube ẹ ń ṣe fídíò ẹ ń fi wọ́n hàn. Ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá ń sọ pé ẹ jọ àwọn tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi hàn yẹn tó bá wá yá wọ́n ní kọ́lọ́pàá wá láti Àbújá wọ́n wá àrẹ́ẹ̀tì yín Fúlàní àwọn ọlọ́pàá kan wá àrẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹ̀yìn tó fojú ẹ̀ hàn pé máwọn méjì kan wọ́n dẹ̀ pa ẹ̀yìn bíi 20 nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ wá mẹ́rin méjì ẹ wá ń fi fídíò hàn àwọn tá a mú rèé kìnìkan àwọn tó yẹ kẹ́ ti RIP dànù àwọn tó yẹ kẹ́ ti ṣe mọ́ṣẹ́ àwọn tó yẹ kẹ́ ti ẹ̀ ní láti ẹ̀ ti fẹ́ anybody hàn kẹ́tí ẹ má fi hàn wá tẹ bá ṣe ń ṣe pẹ̀lú wọn kẹ́yìn náà tẹ́ ń ṣe bó ṣe ń ṣe fún wa ẹ̀yin pé wọ́n máa sún sẹ́yìn ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ Yíbò náà ẹ wo àwọn ọmọ Yíbò gbogbo àwọn tó ń lé kúrò nílẹ̀ Yíbò yẹn wọ́n ti wá sínú forest wa wọ́n ti kéèjì wa tẹ bá rí ṣé RPG àbí kí ló ń pe ìbọn táwọn ọmọ yìí gbé dání láàárọ̀ ìgbà tí wọ́n wo kìíní yẹn tẹ bá rí tó mú dání tí wọ́n na àwọn ọmọ.
àwọn yẹn wọ̀ ní gbogbo káwà kẹfù àwọn yẹn wọ̀ ní gbogbo tẹ̀ ń sọ yẹn so our governors wa responsibility wa lórí ẹ̀.
no àwọn Fúlàní ló gbé dání tó kidnap àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá sínú igbó tó ń nà wọ́n pẹ̀lú gi ẹ ti rí fídíò yẹn mo dẹ̀ ń sunkún bó ṣe ń rí láàárọ̀ yìí ni mo dẹ̀ ń sunkún pé Ọlọ́run.
ẹ má ká blame àwọn èèyàn wa nílé àwọn èèyàn wa gbọ́dọ̀ lọ hold the governors because at the end of the day it's easy for us to be telling them to do this do that as soon as they can hold their governors responsible for all this atrocity life will be meaningful but they are not ready to hold the governor and the politicians accountable so that is where they will have to face the consequence of whatever they are facing so it's as simple as that.
Àbí ẹ dìde ẹ gbé protest yẹn lọ sọ́fíìsì gọ́vnọ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò ńbẹ̀ ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò ńbẹ̀ ẹ dìde wọ́n máa pa yín tán wọ́n á pa yín tán bó ṣe pa Hausa tán ẹ wo bó ṣe pa Hausa tán wọ́n á pa yín tán bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ dìde ẹ lọ sí House of Assembly ẹ lọ sí House of Representatives ẹ lọ bá wọn bí àti gọ́vnọ̀ sọ́fíìsì ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò ńbẹ̀ ojoojúmọ́ ló ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ má jà o ẹ má ṣe kinní kan àwọn ń take control kinní kan ẹ jọ ṣé wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan ni ìwéré ṣẹlẹ̀ gómìnà kankan ò sọ̀rọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ pírẹsidẹ́ǹtì ẹni ọmọ yín ni ọmọ ẹni ò ní ṣèdí bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tàbí síjẹ lòmíì ẹni ọmọ yín ni ó wà ń bẹ̀ kó sọ tó nípa àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ tó ń pa Buhari sì ń dìfẹ́ǹdì àwọn Fúlàní tó jẹ́ terrorist ẹgbẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ president ó sì ń dìfẹ́ǹdì wọn bó ṣe jẹ́ president Nàìjíríà gbà tó wà bẹ̀ èyí Tinubu ò sọ tó sórí ọ̀rọ̀ ayé yín ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń sọ wípé Yorùbá ni ẹ jẹ́ kó máa ṣe kó máa pa yín kó máa ṣe kó máa pa dídà ti mú ọyín lára ìyà ti mú ọyín lára ẹ̀yin Yorùbá ìyà ti mú ọyín lára ìyà ti mú ọyín lára kí ló dé gan-an adẹ̀ ń sọ fọ́ ẹ̀ ń ṣe ó ń gbé tí ọ̀tún yín wọlé ó ń gbòsì jáde ẹ̀ mú fóònù yín òsì yẹn ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí táìpù mẹ́sẹ̀jì lórí WhatsApp sí wa ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sẹ́ndì mẹ́sẹ̀jì sí wa ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pè wá bí ẹni pé ṣíṣe owó sí wa lọ́wọ́ ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pè wá pè tó bá tún gbé kọ́ọ̀lù yín ẹ̀ sẹ́ndì mẹ́sẹ̀jì pé máríkò mi fẹ́ tọrọ owó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wa kàn ní abèrè àlàáfíà náà ni ẹ bá pè wọ́n padà owó ni ló máa gbẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ tún máa bú ẹni yẹn ẹ mọ̀ bóyá ni ẹ wà ń bíṣẹ́ àbó wà lọ hospital àbó wà ń bí kọ̀ọ̀kan yín adẹ̀ ní kẹ́ dìde kẹ́ gbára yín sí dandan ní kẹ́ tọrọ owó kú ni dandan ní kẹ́ ṣe bá ń bí alákú ni bíi tàwùsá ẹ dìde ẹ lọ sí government office ẹ bá bẹ̀ jẹ́ ẹ bá ibẹ̀ jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bínú.
ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹ má pé platform mi lọ
ẹ má bínú jàre ẹ má bínú bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ má bínú ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ mọ̀ nǹkan tó yẹ kẹ́ ṣe.
wọ́n lè ní gbòòrò lóní kọ́ lọ ṣèyàn nísìn àwọn ọmọ
ẹ má bínú jàre ẹ má bínú ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ ṣé ìyá bá yín lára mu ni àbò ṣì bá yín lára mu ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ lọ protest táwọn bá ti ṣe nǹkan tẹ́tẹ́ ẹ̀ gbúdọ̀ kúrò ń bẹ̀ ẹ jókòó síbẹ̀ kí ló dé náà tó bá ti lè sọ̀rọ̀ kọ́ ẹ a máa ṣe kíní kan kẹ̀ ẹ́ kúrò ń bẹ̀ gọ́vnà wa ń ṣe dáadáa kí ló ń ṣe dáadáa fún yín kí ló ń ṣe dáadáa.
tí yàrá dùn ẹ jáde síta.
àwọn kan ń jà wọn ò jà nítorí welfare wọn ò jà nítorí payment increasement wọn ò jà nítorí employment wọn ò jà nítorí power tí ó sì ẹ̀ ń jà torí ìwé torí Quran ìwé tó wá láti Saudi Arabia òun lẹ̀ ń jà fún ẹ dìde torí ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jẹ́ lọ́mọ Yorùbá nìyí àfi kẹ́ wá sórí social media kẹsọ̀rọ̀ kan jòwé wọ́n jó story book nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ rán nìyẹn nílé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá wọ́n ti filẹ̀ yíbò lẹ̀ wọ́n ti surround yín ẹ̀rọ àwọn yíbò bọ́ ṣe ń ṣe fún wọn wọn lè dúró sílẹ̀ yíbò wọ́n ti clear gbogbo yíbò àwọn ESN ti clear gbogbo inú igbó yẹn wọ́n ti clear ibẹ̀ wọ́n wá ń darí wá sọ́dọ̀ tiwa kọ́ wá máa pa wá kọ́ lè máa fi bẹ̀rù sí yín lọ́kàn ṣọ́ gé ọwọ́ titi yín ni ṣé wọ́n gé ọwọ́ titi yín nǹkan tó ń lò sẹ́yìn náà ò lè wá ní kẹ́ lò fún wọn ni kẹ́yìn àti wọ́n jọ tápọ̀ ara yín kan tó pa ẹ́ self defence kò kì í ṣe crime kan tó pa yín ẹ ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ṣe fún wọn kò sẹ́ni tó máa mú yín sí ẹ má ṣe fídíò mọ́ kò make sense at all kò make sense ẹ jí ìyàwó kì í ṣe omi ọbẹ̀ ìyàwó ń ṣe nǹkan tọ́lọ̀ ń dá mọ́yàn ìjọba àwọn èèyàn ló ń fìyà jẹ yín torí wọn fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ rí báwọn ṣe rí ẹ dìde fúnra yín ẹ dìde fún àwọn ọmọ yín kọ́ lè ṣe oríire lọ́la tábà gba Yorùbá nation ọkàn yín máa balẹ̀ jù báyìí lọ ẹ̀ẹ́rí jẹ ẹ̀ẹ́rí mu ẹ̀ẹ́rí ná ẹ̀ẹ́rí lò ẹ̀ẹ́ láyé olóko á lè lọ sóko àgbẹ̀ á lè gbìn nǹkan tó fẹ́ gbìn ẹni tó ń tajà á lè lọ sọ́jà peacefully Nàìjíríà mo ti rí tí àwọn máa gbàdúrà pé mo ti ń lọ láàárọ̀ ìbáyọ̀ lọ́jọ́ ń padà wọlé o torí pé òṣùọ̀kù wà padà wọlé mi ìmọ̀jọ́ tí mo ti gbàdúrà yẹn lu òyìnbó ìtìmọ̀dé torí mi ò wẹ̀yìn wò tí bá ń lọ tí bá ti kó sínú mọ́tò mo ti jáde tèmi mo ti drive lọ nìyẹn Ọlọ́run ló ń ṣọ́ ni lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n irú àdúrà téèyàn ń gbà yẹn àwa ò kì í gbà bí torí pé kí ni ọ̀nà dà kò sí gbókun tí bandit fẹ́ tàpamọ́ sí kò síbi kan tẹ́nìkan tó fẹ́ dúró tó fẹ́ kidnap yín kò sí pé kí ní ọ̀nà kan ò dájẹ́ ń lọ gbàbí kan tí máa gbà nígbó tó máa lọ pẹ́ nìkan mú mi.
bàtàjọ máa jẹ́ ló máa yàtọ̀.
forest reserve òyìnbó kò ń ṣe fún èèyàn kò séèyàn kankan tó lè lọ bẹ̀. yàtọ̀ táwọn tó ń tẹ́ kí ẹ bẹ̀. kílẹ̀ ń wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wàá sọ nǹkan tó wá lọ bẹ̀ tán bá authorize ẹ̀ òun lè yàn tó authorize ló lè débẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n yìí jókòó síbẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ẹ ti rò pé bílẹ̀ ayé ṣe rí ní Nàìjíríà ṣe ń rán nìyẹn bílẹ̀ ayé bọ́lọ̀ ti dálé ayé kọ́ nìyẹn o bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ o ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bí Nàìjíríà ṣe rí kọ́ ni Ghana ṣe rí o Nàìjíríà ló ń wọ́ sí
lágbàáyé. Nìjẹ́ la sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé tíyàn bá ń gbé ní Nìjẹ́ 61 years old ní life expectancy wọn 61 years old Nìjẹ́ nílẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀bẹ̀ yẹn Nàìjíríà is 52.
ẹ wo Nàìjíríà.
tó bá wà ní Nìjẹ́ wàá pẹ́ láyé ju Nàìjíríà lọ.
Mọ bí tẹ́rù ti bà mí lánàá àwọn Brazilian family kan wọ́n wà ní Pakistan Palestinian wọ́n ń gbé bẹ̀ mo wò pé àwọn lè lọ gbé Palestinian ajẹ́ pé Palestinian bọ́ ṣe sọ pé ní Gaza ń bẹ̀ tó ti ń ṣe kíní ajẹ́ pé Gaza tún dájú Nàìjíríà lọ tó ti sọ fún àwọn afẹ́ ẹjẹ́ àfihàn máa lọ Nàìjíríà ajẹ́ pé Gaza dájú Nàìjíríà lọ nìyẹn kẹ́lẹ́ mọ̀ wọ́n ṣe padà sí Brazil lánàá ni àbí ìjẹta tí president wọn lọ gbé wọn padà wọn lọ repatriation padà torí ogun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ so ìdí tó fi lè máa gbé bẹ̀ yẹn ẹ mọ̀ pé tí ò bá ń ṣe fún jagun sí i ibẹ̀ yẹn dáa ju Nàìjíríà lọ ó dáa ju Nàìjíríà lọ tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ̀ pílánì tí wọ́n ń ṣe fún wa ẹ wá wo mánu Zakari àbí kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ wọ́n gbé wá láti bóyá Indonesia níbi kan tó ń wá ní India
Malaysia ló
tó jẹ́ pé terrorist
Malaysia ló bẹ́ẹ̀ sí olùsìn
Malaysia ló ti wá ẹ ó sì asylum ní Malaysia pé India ó sì asylum Malaysia gan sí gan wọ́n ń bínú sí lọ́wọ́ báyìí like 5 different countries ló ń wá as terrorist ẹ wo bí tó end up sí ó end up pé Sultan of Sokoto ìlú tẹ́ ẹ pè Nàìjíríà àwọn pípọ̀ yóò rí èèyàn gidi tó máa wá jẹ́ pé tó máa ran Nàìjíríà tó máa sọ pé so-called Nàìjíríà tiẹ̀ máa develop tó máa jẹ́ kí ìlú dà ọwọ́ lọ invite terrorist wá sínú Nàìjíríà kí ló ń sọ fún yín yẹn wọ́n ti prepare ogun ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ̀yin Yorùbá kí ló ń ṣe yín ṣé màálù wèrè tẹ̀ ń jẹ ló ń kó yín lọ́pọlọ ni ṣé màálù yẹn ló ń kó yín lọ́pọlọ ní ẹ̀yin jẹ màálù mo rí àwọn ọmọ Yíbò ti ṣí wọn jẹ màálù mọ́ kò sí màálù ńlẹ̀ Yíbò mọ́ wọn lè fi màálù lọ jókòó wọ́n gbé máàlù yẹn wá sí Nàìjíríà mọ́kọ́ tó wá ṣe ni bàbá mi torí máàlù yẹn ní fọ́lọ́wà pọ̀ ní gbogbo àgbáyé ṣẹ́rí tó bá fún fèrè tó bá bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ̀ mò ń sọ fún Mr. Koiki tó bá fún fèrè wọn tó bá bẹ́ẹ̀lẹ̀ máàlù yẹn àwọn tó máa bá wọn pè láti different countries tó ti lọ ṣe torí ìwàásù tó máa ń ṣe ìwàásù bíi kọ́ pààyàn ni hatred ló máa ń ṣe ń tiẹ̀ ó máa tò wọ́n kọ́ máa wọnú Nàìjíríà wá wọ́n máa help àwọn Fúlàní láti máa bá ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jà torí wọn ò lè bá Yíbò jà wọn bí wọn rí wọn mọ̀ mọ́ sọ fún gbẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún Fúlàní ò lè dá Yíbò dúró wọn ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n wa àjókòó síbẹ̀ tàbá ti gbọ́ Fúlàní àwọn olórí wa gan bẹ̀rù Fúlàní kí lẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rù fún ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀rù fún kí ni kọ́ máa wá pa yín nítorí pé ẹ ti ṣe kí ni tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù àwọn ìpètè plan tán wọ́n kàn dúró kán wíìzù ni ẹ̀ tún wá rí ọmọ yín tó já kíkanjú tó ń dìde tó ní pé ànífẹ́ ẹ̀ nípa wá tán lẹ̀ Yorùbá ìka tó gbára wa lẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ̀yin náà lè máa wà against yẹn Sunday Igboho ti sọ̀rọ̀ jù Sunday Igboho ti ṣe kíní kan jù Sunday Igboho ti ṣe kíní kan jù wọ́n dẹ̀ ń pa wá ṣé kó má sọ̀rọ̀ kó máa pa wá lọ ni ẹ ní nǹkan ṣe ẹ tún rẹni tó tún bá yín ṣe ẹ tún wá against ẹ má bínú o Mr. Koiki máa dárúkọ èèyàn kan sí máa dárúkọ Awíkonko program t'Awíkonko ṣe lánàá kó lọ wo program yẹn dáadáa ó máa gbọ́ yín torí náà wo program àwọn èèyàn èmi tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí tó bá wò mí lórí YouTube ẹ̀ á rí tèmi ni mò ń comment sóhun pé Awíkonko fi Sunday Igboho lẹ̀ á rí 002 cool á rí ń bẹ̀ lórí YouTube mi kó máa gbọ́ kó fi ṣe program torí ń ṣẹ́ ìpè lánàá bí ẹni pé àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá rà nǹkan nínú báyìí ṣé dandan ni kò korúkọ Sunday Igboho ni ṣé dandan ni fún Awíkonko ó láyé bó ṣe wà yìí nǹkan tó máa jẹ ìjẹ́ kó gbọ́n wọ́n ń pa wá ní wéré wọ́n pa wá ń ṣẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ́rì ó ṣe prógráàmù torí ìyẹn ó pe Tinubu pé bàbá Tinubu ẹ wò níbi tá a dé yìí èmi káwọ́ sókè ò torí pé kò yé wa mọ́ ó wá ń sọ pé ká fún Tinubu tó ti lọ́dún mẹ́ta ni so ó dìgbà tó bá lọ́dún mẹ́ta kó tó sọ fún Fúlàní pé kó má pa wá mọ́ orí pórí ẹ̀ ò pè rárá Awíkonko ó wá ní o ti ìwọ tó ń lọ tó fi yẹ ṣé Sunday Igboho ń bọ ẹ kò bọ ẹ ṣó bá ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tó dárúkọ ẹ ni àbúrò sórí social media tó dárúkọ ẹ ìwọ ló gbé information wá ó misinform àwọn ènìyàn sọ fún mi téèyàn bá sọ̀rọ̀ ń pa ẹ tí ò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣé ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ ni ó wá ní kò ń ṣe good leader báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ jẹ́ good leader báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ jẹ́ good leader èèyàn ní pé kọ́ máa pa wá mọ́ so gbogbo àwọn Tinubu yẹn ni good leader alẹ́ ẹ̀ láyé nǹkan ẹ̀yin Yorùbá ẹ̀ láyé wípé báwọn kan ṣe ń tò làwọn kan á máa bàjẹ́ ìdẹ̀mọ̀ nǹkan tó ń fà á ṣe fi ń ṣe báyìí báwọn kan ṣe ń tò ẹ̀yin kan á máa bàjẹ́.
ẹ bá mi hold program here for 60 minutes nígbà tí mo fi lọ wá nǹkan jẹ.
ẹ ṣé gan jàre bàbá mi ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ kú ètò màá máa watch ó dàbọ̀.
àyíká wa lórí Koiki Odùduwà ẹ lọ sórí our next platform because phone iPad yóò charge mo ti fi sábẹ́ charger but it's still not charging so I'm ní láti discontinue ẹ kó má lọ kó mọ́ mi lẹ́nu so ẹ jẹ́ ká gba the next caller as well tó ń bọ̀ mo dẹ̀ wọ́n bí ẹni fi dá sórí. hello.
jọ̀wọ́ ká sàn.
ṣe fẹ́ dá sórí ètò ní sà.
ẹ ká sàn sà.
ṣe fẹ́ dá sórí ètò ní.
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ wo ọ̀rọ̀ àfọkànbalẹ̀ gbogbo wọn náà ti ń jẹ ìyàbá yìí gbogbo everybody ló ti mọ̀ àti APC àti gbogbo à ń sọ fún wọn gbà yẹn pé ẹja pín wọn ni ẹ̀rọ ni wọn ni ó lè ṣe ọ̀nà ẹnìkan ló máa ṣe tó bá débẹ̀ mo ṣe ní sọ fún wọn gbà yẹn mo ní ẹ̀sà bàbá yìí ẹni yóò lè ṣe mílíọ̀kù nàìjíríà ti bàjẹ́ kọjá nǹkan tó lè tún ṣe a ti sọ fún wọn ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí rìbádì sọ lánàá sí ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tí rìbádì sọ.
ó ní Buhari ló mo gbọ́ sẹ́ ó ní Buhari ló jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà wà bankrupt right mo gbọ́.
Na wọn ti kówó everybody ti bó tó máa bù everybody ti lọ.
everybody ti bó tó máa bù.
ọ̀hún tí mọ̀ kankan ẹ̀yẹ́ kò di
everybody ti bó tó máa bù.
ṣége pro man ṣége pro àwọn náà wà ń bẹ̀ bọ̀ àwọn náà gbogbo ẹ̀ náà àti fọlọ́run gbogbo wa ti sọ ṣẹgbọn accident tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Charlie Boy ní Èkó lánàá tó pa èèyàn méjì.
àwọn lọ́mà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ṣáwọn lọ́mà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́.
àwọn ojú mi báyìí lè ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀sà ojú mi báyìí lè ṣẹlẹ̀.
ṣé wọ́n lé mọ́tò kan ní àbí báwo kò yé mi.
wọ́n lé mọ́tò bọ̀bọ́ yẹn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní gbọ́dọ̀ tọ́jú bọ̀ wọ́n lé bọ̀bọ́ yẹn ó jáyàn lẹ̀ ó ṣe jáyàn lẹ̀ ní Charlie Boy.
wọ́n wá fẹ́ píkẹ̀.
bọ́ ṣe lé ní wọ́n wá pà láti ṣẹ́gbọ́n mi wọ́n ń pà láti pé bí a kóhun sálọ mọ́ ọ lọ́wọ́ mọ́tò kan wà láàrin ẹ̀ ẹ bá rí píṣọ̀ mọ́tò kan tó wà láàrin ẹ̀ mọ́tò ẹ̀gbọ́n ló já kọ́tà ìṣe mọ́tò ẹ̀gbọ́n ló gbáyàn mọ́tò tó gbáyàn ọgbọ̀n ìyẹn ti lọ bọ́ ẹ clear báyìí bí wọ́n ṣe wọ́n fẹ́ try láti maneuver bí ẹ ṣe lọ́mọ ẹ̀dẹ̀ ń gbálẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ẹ clear mo kò sí ẹ̀ wojú ara ó gbá ọ méjì sí kọ́tà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ó ti ṣe ẹ lọ ọ̀dọ̀ ọmọ ẹgbọ́n tí wọ́n ti ààrẹ ìṣẹ̀ pé kí
mo gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ èmi náà gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ pé dírẹ́bà yẹn ti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ọlọ́wọ́ ṣàánú fún wa níbi
kọ́lọ̀ forí jà ní.
ẹ ṣe ẹkú ètò sà.
àwa ni thanks so much. mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí àwa Esther wọ́n ní Gaza is a beautiful country. Mr. Oyelola Wahab mo kí àwa Bọ́sẹ̀dé Rachel Mr. Peter George. We'll still be on probably maybe another half an hour katoma mwito ewasi sale. So in case tabashire tó fẹ́ pè wọlé, you can also call into the program. I want to stop from saying what we are saying. We have seen it and we have said it, you know, the country now, one should blaming game, missing. On blame, Elaine blame, you know, Tinubu blame Buhari blame Jonathan ọwọ́ ń forí gbogbo àwọn fi ń fagbọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi triple DRS báwo ni gbogbo woolwich you know Koiki, let's be honest with ourselves. I don't want to believe that people are suffering. I don't think people are suffering, you know. ẹ jẹ́ lọ sí New York lọ́dọ̀ àwọn grandma long hello ma.
hello.
ẹ̀mí ò ti tẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ wa nínú ilé ti wà live.
ẹ kú ètò.
ètò ni àjọ ń ṣe náà ni tẹ́yìn bá wa gbọ́ àwọn ò lè ṣe èyí tẹ́yìn bá wa gbọ́ náà ni.
ẹ kú jọ mẹ́ta ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ìlú àwọn ọmọ mi ń kọ́.
àwọn ti lọ àbí ọmọ kan bá wà nílé nísìnyí àfikọ́lọ́ kan máa gbélé ẹ̀ nínú ilé.
mo béèrè àlàáfíà àwọn ọmọ kan ti lọ sí
àlàáfíà lọ́wọ́ àlàáfíà
ilẹ̀ mọ́mì ń kọ́.
àlàáfíà ni girama wà.
ẹ kú gbìyànjú.
àwa ni ẹ.
ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn ó ní agbára nǹkan tèmi kan rí tí mo fẹ́ sọ ni ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ látẹ̀kan pé àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ òṣèlú wa tí wọ́n wà ní stéètì kọ̀ọ̀kan gbogbo ibi tí wà àgàgà Ọ̀yọ́ stéètì yẹn gbogbo wọn pátápátá ìwéré ní òkínní kan ni òṣèré tí wọ́n bá jáde tí wọ́n bá lọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin tí wọ́n lọ sí sẹkítẹ́ríàtì ibi tí gọ́fìnà wà wọ́n takú síbẹ̀ ẹ wojọ́ táwọn tí àwọn kan lọ bẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ kírun jímọ̀ bẹ̀ tí wọ́n takú síbẹ̀ ṣé ó padà dá wọn lóhùn kán takú síbẹ̀ ṣé rí wọn bá débẹ̀ wọ́n ti sọ àti lọ police station àti lọ kinní kan àti lọ kinní kan wọ́n á padà lọ ilé kí wọ́n takú síbẹ̀ jíjẹ múmu ńgbẹ kú wà lé náà ìnira ń bá yín ẹ̀rí mu jẹ ẹ̀rí mu kán takú síbẹ̀ kán má kúrò ọ̀ǹtì tó bá dá wọn lóhùn tó kó kinní gbogbo àwọn bá ṣe náà ń kọ́lọ́pàá lọ bì kan wọ́n ń ṣe kinní kan yẹn wọn ò tí ì ṣe kankan fún wa Igbó fọ́rẹ́sì tí wọ́n tẹnu mọ́ igbó kólẹ̀ Yorùbá ni kì í ṣe pé kí wọ́n ṣe ń pè ní nǹkan Òkè Ògùn nìkan kọ́ ni o gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí wọ́n takú tí wọ́n bá takú síbẹ̀ tí gbogbo wọn fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ tí wọ́n sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn tí wọ́n takú síbẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ kí wọ́n kúkú sọ fún wọn pé àwọn tí wọ́n bá wọn lé gbogbo àwọn ará bíi ìpòlù fọ́rẹ́sì sọ̀rọ̀ mi ń yé yìí tí wọn ò bá tí ì ṣe kinní yìí Kóìkì tí wọn ò bá ṣe kinní yìí kò sí nǹkan kan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ ariwo tá a máa pa náà ni orílẹ̀-èdè dáadáa fẹ́ gbà àìrígbà nǹkan tó dẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ wọn jẹ kó wọ́n ṣe kinní yìí ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa sọ di ẹ wo Gaza àti kí ni wọ́n ń pè wọ́n àwọn tó ń wà ní kinní ẹ rí i pé wọ́n ti ń lẹ́bù ilẹ̀ Gaza yẹn ní ìsìn wọ́n ti rẹ́dì pé wọ́n ti gba gbogbo yẹn lọ́wọ́ wọn ni ìhun tí wọ́n mọ gbọ́ program bàbá àròpọ̀ kan ní àmọ́ ọjọ́ wọn ti ṣe mo kàn láti ẹ̀dá sí lánàá ìhun tí wọ́n ń rẹ́dì láti ṣe nìyẹn wọ́n fẹ́ gba gbogbo ilẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá olẹ̀ kìíní wọ́n fẹ́ gba gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe nìyẹn ẹ rántí pé wọ́n ti ń bá wa àwọn tipẹ́tipẹ́ àwọn bàbá tó ti lọ wọ́n ròyìn ogun tó ti jà lóríṣiríṣi bí wọ́n ṣe ṣetán fi gba Ìlọrin wọ́n tún kọjá sórí orí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá míì wọ́n ròyìn lọ́yọ̀ọ́ ní ìsìn Ọ̀yọ́ kankan Ọ̀yọ́ tàn wọ́n ròyìn pé àwọn tó wà ńbẹ̀ wọ́n ti fẹ́ pọ̀ jà àwọn ọmọ tó jọmọ Ọ̀yọ́ kankan lọ ẹ sọ fún mi kí ni wọ́n ń pláàni láti ṣe ẹ wo Olúwo ìyẹn tiẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bọ́ abẹ́ ẹ jọ torí Ọlọ́run kí ni gbogbo nǹkan ṣe gbogbo àlọ́ tá ń pa yìí ilẹ̀ yìí làwọn ará abíyì ń pọ̀ ṣú wọ́n dẹ̀ náà sọ pé
everybody is interested in our land wọ́n rí pélé yẹn gangan ṣùgbọ́n everybody is interested in the land.
yóò dà kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ẹ ilẹ̀ yìí ni wọ́n takú ni wọ́n tẹjú mọ́
gbogbo ẹ̀yà dẹ̀ ni kò ní ṣe ẹ̀yà kan gbogbo ẹ̀yà náà ni gbogbo wọn pátápátá everybody is interested in the land.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni
gbogbo wọn ni everybody is interested ó kọ́ ẹ̀ pé wọ́n sàn jura wọn náà.
gbogbo wọn ni ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí ni wọ́n takú sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ń sọ fún wa pé àsìkò tiwa ò lé bó bá pẹ́ a máa panu mọ́ ẹ sọ fún mi irú ìpanumọ́ ọrú wo nìyẹn ṣé ẹ rí ìran tó ń lọ yìí tí a bá kọ̀ tí wọn bá ti fẹ́ ṣe ká kúrò ní àkàtà gbogbo kìíní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó bá máa tọ́jú mélòó ẹ má jẹ́ àtanra wa kó má jẹ́ ohun tàn àjẹbó ti jẹ́ ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ìlú o Ọlọ́run á gbà fún yín o gbogbo àwọn bàbá tí wọ́n ń pariwo pé ẹ̀yìn ìgbà ni àwo ni tí wọ́n lọ ṣèfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ kán jẹ́ ká fẹ́ràn ara wa kínú wa konú kọ́rọ̀ wa ṣe kan gbogbo àṣòṣèlú àlẹ́ àlejò bá gba orílẹ̀-èdè náà a máa ṣòṣèlú láàrin ara wa ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kọ́kọ́ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ èmi ni PDP èmi ni APC èmi ni kíní kan ẹ jẹ́ ká fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ká kọ́kọ́ gba ilẹ̀ yìí ná ilẹ̀ yìí gangan ojoojúmọ́ ni bàbá Aliu ń sọ ojoojúmọ́ ni bàbá Aliu tẹnu mọ́ ojoojúmọ́ ni bàbá yìí ń sọ nǹkan tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń sọ yìí níbi tó ń bọ̀ nìyẹn o káàbà mọ́ bá a ti fẹ́ ṣe gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ state ní Oǹdó ní kinní kan ni gbogbo wọn ni kí wọ́n lọ sí ilé kinní kí wọ́n sọ fún gbogbo wọn kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ gómìnà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá aṣòfin ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kinní kan ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí wọ́n dáwọ́ kí wọ́n sowọ́pọ̀ kí wọ́n pe àwọn agbófinró gbogbo yẹn pátápátá kí wọ́n lé gbogbo wọn dànù nínú fọ́rẹ́sì káwá mọ̀ kí ló kàn bàbá ìlú òfojoojúmọ́ sọ pé kán jẹ́ káwọn ọkùnfà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ká mọ bí tí bá di wa gbogbo orí ẹyin stéètì mẹ́jẹ̀ẹ̀jọ yẹn ká mọ bí tí àwa Yorùbá tó gbogbo wa ṣe kìíní sí ń bẹ̀. iṣẹ́ pọ̀ lẹ́ o ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation yìí kì í ṣe nǹkan iṣẹ́ kékeré rárá iṣẹ́ pọ̀ lẹ́ gidi gan rẹpẹtẹ láwọn iṣẹ́ abẹ́lẹ̀ tó ṣe rẹpẹtẹ tó yẹ kán máa ṣe nǹkan yìí tó wá dojúkọ wá lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí èmi fẹ́ bó bá ní àwọn èèyàn tó ń rí pé kìíní bá sọ fún wọn torí mi ò ní access sí èèyàn kankan kọjá àwọn ọba ẹni tí mo bá sọ̀rọ̀ kódà mo bá èdè dára kan sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá tó bá ṣe pé kí ni nọ́mbà bàbá àròpọ̀ kan mi ò mọ bí mo ṣe fẹ́ pè ní WhatsApp ni bá ti báwọn náà sọ̀rọ̀ torí àwọn pẹ̀lú bàbá Aliu tí bàbá Aliu wà nílé àwọn tó bá wà nílé tí wọ́n ṣe kinní iṣẹ́ yẹn nìkan máa ṣe lọ ní rẹpùtù àwọn tí wọ́n wá ń dojúkọ tí wọ́n ń lọ pa wọ́n lọ abúlé kí gbogbo àwọn ará abúlé àti ti táwọn àti ti fíléèjì kí gbogbo wọn kóra wọn lọ ilé gómìnà kọ́ má kú òǹbẹ̀ ọ̀tí tí wọ́n bá rí i pé wọ́n mú gbogbo àwọn ẹlẹ́ṣọ́ ààbò kan lọ bá wọn lé àwọn tó ní wọn lára àjẹ́ bó ti jẹ́ Ọlọ́run ó gbà fún wa ojú òní ti wà.
Thanks so much. ẹ jẹ́ ká fún yín ní all the executive of Oyo State in case you don't know them let me mention them to you. Oyo State executive powers reside in the Executive Council, whose members comprise of the state governors as the chairman and the deputy governor, who are both elected for a 4-year tenure. The governor appoints other members of the State Executive Council, which include the secretary to the state government, the chief of staff, the head of service, commissioner, special advisor, DG due process. The executive arm is responsible for governance and implementation of programs of government as appropriated for by the legislature. Directly under the Executive Council is the State Economy Management Team that examines key issues of fiscal governance and makes proposal for consideration by the Executive Council, which has its meetings on a weekly basis. This program ends at 1 o'clock. There are many state ministries, extra ministries department, parastatals, and agency of the state government, commonly called state MDAs. These are headed by commissioners, special advisors, general managers, director generals, executive secretaries, or director as designated may apply. The question is, while all this is happening, in your state, I mean, all these people that have, all these, names are, these parastatals that I've mentioned now, are they not part of your state anymore? I don't know. Now, let's look at the names and the position held. These are the people you should hold responsible for your life. Don't come on social media and be constituting nonsense and thinking that we are the problems. But a minimum run on your state in it. Am I the one running Ogun State? Am I your governor? Am I your deputy governor? Am I your commissioner for information? Your commissioner for information should be doing more than what we are doing by advising Yoruba people that Boko Haram and the ISIS, they are currently in the forest. That is the job of your commissioner for information. But all you bomb bastards, you come here and be constituting nonsense on the social media. Those that you should be holding responsible, I'll mention their names now. Make I drink my apple juice. 1 o'clock, I end the program because I still have to get to the studio later in the evening. So I've got a long way to go. And I don't want to be stressed before my program in the evening. His Excellency Oluseyi Abiodun Makinde, the governor of Oyo State. That one is the governor. No waiting that the governor. All liars. One bastard. All liars. Mumbo. Mokiwala and Consi. Once again, we are only doing our best. So, if you become the information minister, I am the information distributor for Yoruba self-determination. I am not your information minister for Nigeria, okay? So you have Idris Mohammed, who will come and advise you, but there's a problem in Nigeria, but they're not interested. So you're up to know the names. I'm going to give you the names now. The names of people that should be held responsible. So these are all the names. I've talked about the Seyi Makinde, the governor. He's also holding the president of the Executive Council. His Excellency Barrister Bayo Lawal is the deputy president of the Executive Council. Professor Olanike Kudirat Adeyemo, secretary to the state government. Mrs. Olubumi Omimi, head of service. Honorable Shegun Ogunwuyi, chief of staff. Mr. Biodun Aikomo, Attorney General Commissioner for Justice. Mr. Akinola Ojo, Commissioner for Finance. Alaja Fausa Jokesani, Commissioner for Special Duties. Honorable Abdulmojid Mogbon Jubola, Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources. Dr. Oluwaserimi Adewumi Ajetumobi, Commissioner for Health. Professor Musibao Babatunde Adetunji, Commissioner for Budget and Economy Planning. Prince Dotun Oyelade, Commissioner for Information and Orientation. Ìyẹn tẹ̀ níṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ tó yẹ kó máa ṣe ní Ọ̀yọ́ State. I don't know what he does anyway. Ẹ máa wá sórí social media, àwa lè máa lè dín mọ́. Wọ́n ní bank limit withdrawal the amount taken from ATM outcome of the àwọn ló kàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni alájà ìrànlọ́ ló bá dé gbogbo Manchester. Commissioner for information ni òun lè kẹ́ hold responsible fún gbogbo tó ń lọ ní Ọ̀yọ́ state. Come here àwa lè máa máa lè dé mọ́. Ẹ bá lọ báwọn yẹn ní sọ máa fọlọ́pàá náà yẹn ni ìwọ fọlọ́pàá pa yín dànù. Come on the social media máa disturb our neighbor. Don't bastards. You cannot go to your commissioner for information and say what is going on in your state? Why are we being killed? You can't do that. Stupid people all over the place. Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun is your commissioner for culture and tourism. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni Alájà, àwa ló máa constitute nonsense. All your commissioners that you should go and hold responsible for your life in your state and other states, you won't do that, idiot. The commissioner for culture and tourism, Wasiu Olatubosun. Kí commission, kí culture, kí tourism. Who is gonna come and do tourism in your state where people are being kidnapped? Making a joke. Barrister Olasukanmi Olaleye, commissioner for agriculture. Oh, yeah, hold really responsible. This one should be held responsible. These are the names that you should know. Igboho Ledimo. Igboho ni commissioner. Igboho ni commissioner of agriculture. Ele no Barrister Olasukanmi Olaleye. Kí ló barrister. Commissioner for agriculture, natural resources and rural development. We're going to be mentioning and shaming them right now. I'm on my picture it. I'm on my basic tag on set. These are the ones that you should go and hold responsible. Honorable Segun Olaiwola, Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincies Matter. Ìyẹn náà lè ṣe ní wọ́n fọba jẹ lọ́tún yọba. Kò tẹ̀ yéèyàn ọmọ gọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀. Ìbíláyà ti jẹ́ wọ́n náà máa dífá ni. Wá dífá. Ìfá sọ pé èèyàn bíi mélòó kan wọ́n wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í yọ̀ wọ́n. Barrister of nonsense. Ẹ máa wá sórí TikTok. Àwọn lè máa point. Ẹ lọ bá àwọn commissioner yín. Ẹ lọ bá wọn. Ní nọ́mbà àwọn concept. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ń ṣe TikTok, wọ́n ń ṣe Facebook, wọ́n ń ṣe YouTube, báwa ṣe ń ṣe yìí. Mr. Moses Mokeyi Kileso, Mr. Olayomi Koikeku, shall really commend you for all your unrelenting effort. Thank you so much. Lábẹ́ ṣe sí àtìgbà kanú àtìgbà fọlọ́run. Another that celebrate ọba wa ní bíbá. Ìlú ẹ̀ lè mi gbé tó bá wẹ̀ ní kò sọ nípa ẹ̀. Torí ọba wa ní King Charles ó pé 75 lánàá. Salute to the king. Ibi tẹ́mi gbé lélẹ̀. Ìwọ tó wà ń tàn tó bá wẹ̀ ní kò sọ sí. Èmi ò lè bu. Ìwọ lè bu. Bó bá pè wọlé gan tó bá fi bu máa gbẹ́ inú ẹ̀ sàn. Good evening my brother, how work? Ẹnu iṣẹ́ náà mo ṣe wà báyìí. Ẹnu iṣẹ́ náà mo wà. Ṣé GoTV lẹ́ ń bá ṣiṣẹ́ ni? Wasiu Sani GoTV. Ṣé GoTV lẹ́ ń bá ṣiṣẹ́? Mo kò wọ́n sanwó dáadáa fún yín. Bọ́lá Kàdé, Commissioner for Agriculture. Commissioner for Agriculture jẹ́ kẹ́ mú lọ wọnú igbó kí Fúlàní gan má tó sàn jáde lẹ́nu. Ó yẹ kẹ́ mú òun náà lọ sínú igbó. Commissioner for Agriculture ó yẹ kó máa wọnú igbó káàkiri tẹ̀lé yín. Ó yẹ kó máa wọnú igbó. Kí iṣẹ́ òun ni commissioner ń ṣe. I'm a commissioner for agriculture. Which commissioner for agriculture? Jókòó sí ní air condition. Ó ń commission ní agriculture láti inú yàrá ẹ̀. Dá kankan mọ̀. Àwọn ṣé ilé làwọn máa tẹ̀lé ṣá. Ìyẹn mo ṣe sọ pé politics àtẹ̀gbà politics àmàlà àti gbẹ̀gìrì tẹ́ ń ṣe ní. Ṣé mo tán náà kí ni ìrìn láìla? Kábíyèsí ọlọ́run ló ní kí laptop yìí kọ́ fún mi ní indication pé battery ti lọ́lẹ̀. Mo kẹ́ tán wá sí gbogbo tí mo charge látẹ̀kọ́ nígbà tí mo sí Nàìjíríà owó náà ló máa jẹ. Mo gbọ́dọ̀ lọ wá picture barrister yìí nísìnyí náà Barrister Olasukanmi, Commissioner for Agriculture, Natural Resources tó ti gbà wọ́n ní lọ́wọ́ l'Ọ̀yọ́ State. Eléyìí náà Commissioner for Agriculture Olasukanmi. Who the hell is he? Wọ́n náà ń pààyàn ní Ṣẹ̀pẹ̀tẹ̀rì. Àwọn olóyè kọ́ máa kọ́kọ́ wọnú gbó lọ pẹ̀lú ọlọ́pàá. Àwọn yàrá pé Mr. Koiki. Ṣọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún mà. Mo mọ̀ pọ́mọ November ní ẹ̀pẹ́ fún wa. Happy birthday ma. Àwa ti celebrate King Ọlánà. Ọmọ Yorùbá kan dẹ̀ jẹ́ Chief of Staff ẹ̀. Ẹ̀rí yàrá tó wọ gèlè láàrin wọn níbẹ̀. Tó bá wọn ní kí wọ́n sọ sí Charles o, èsì tó kàn mí o. ọba tiwa ní bíbá ibà ilé mi ń gbé o ibà ilé mi ń gbé níbo la kàdé tí láago kan mo fẹ́ parí ètò yìí a sì ń bọ̀ nírọ̀lẹ́. Mrs. Tóyìn Balógun, Commissioner for Women Affairs, Community Development and Social Welfare. Àwọn commissioner tó máa wá wíṣẹ́ kọ́wọ́ fi kọ́lé tiẹ̀ náà á dẹ̀ máa send àwọn ọmọ sí the nearest school tó bá dá. Ìyá ti jẹ wá. Ìyọ̀kan ní kí ló kan barista pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ agriculture. Nàìjíríà nìyẹn. Oríṣiríṣi lẹ máa rí. Yóò study agriculture. Mr. Demola Ojo, a máa bá ṣe máa karúkọ wọn lójoojúmọ́ nísìnyí ní gbogbo state. Ẹ ṣáà máa rán mi létí. Mr. Demola Ojo, Commissioner for Trade, Investment and Commerce. Ta ló máa wá kó trade at investment wá sọ́yọ́ state ẹ̀ tí ń pààyàn. Kò ń ṣẹ̀yìn aráàlú mo ń sọ àwọn terrorist tó ń pààyàn tó ń yọrí èèyàn bọ̀. Ta ló tún wà ń bẹ̀? Honorable Adeniyi Adebisi gbogbo wọn honorable bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wọn ti wà labroad àwọn tó ti gbọ́n ti fa àwọn ọmọ sí private school so that a ní rí wọn ní rí wọn ní public school àfi tó bá jẹ́ òmùgọ̀ ló máa tún fún yàn kan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn kan stupid nínú wọn wọ́n lè ní alájẹ́ ẹ bá máa tọ́jú ọmọ mi kẹ bá fi sí school ní London. Mo ti gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ some of the commissioners and some of the politicians délé àwọn fẹ́ máa ṣe fàájì ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ kan sí lọ́wọ́ kẹ́wàá máa bá wọn tọ́jú ọmọ rẹ̀ ló difficult jù láti tọ́jú nílùú yìí àwọn fẹ́ máa lọ kọ́ fẹ́ máa bọ̀ àwọn lọ fọmọ há síbì kan àwọn tó bá dẹ̀ fi hánà àwọn náà máa ń gbà kankan lọ́wọ́ wọn ni o lè ní èrè àwọn fún mi ní bí i 1,000 every month. Honorable Adeniyi Adebisi, Commissioner for Establishment and Training, kí ló ń train establishment náà dà lọ́yọ̀ state lẹ́nu ẹ máa tán ara yín. Mr. William Akinfunmilayo, Commissioner for Land, Housing and Survey. Àwọn ilé ti talẹ̀ dànù. Mr. Williams, talẹ̀ ń talẹ̀ fún ṣáwọn ọmọ Ìgbò lẹ̀ ń ta fún àbáwọn ọmọ Yorùbá àbẹ́ ń ta fún àwọn ọmọ Haúsá. Àwọn honorable ewédú gbogbo they have spoiled their children bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn tẹ̀ kẹ́ mú lélẹ̀ ẹ̀ ní mú wọn. Ẹlòmíì ò mọ Commissioner for Land kò gbórúkọ ẹ̀ rí. But ọmọ kó ìgò dẹ̀ mọ̀ Ìgbòho our comments ibẹ̀ á ní na you push Ìgbòho bomb bastard. Òun lèmi fẹ́ fún lójoojúmọ́ láti abroad. Mo ti jẹun nísìn. Mo ti jẹ baked beans àti bread. Mo ti máa apple juice. Kí tó tún jáde nílé màá tún top up oúnjẹ tí máa jẹ. Torí mo gbọ́dọ̀ wọlé dé wá jẹun níta. Mo bá wá jẹun níta gan sẹ́ olójú. Commissioner for Land. Land. Wọ́n ti ta gbogbo lẹ́yìn dànù. Eléyìí náà Commissioner for Land, Housing Survey and Urban Development. Mo lọ sí Lushan lánàá in 20 years mo fẹ́ lè dábẹ́ yẹn mọ̀ ti develop pa. Ilé tó jẹ́ kó ṣe kí ni wọ́n ti dáwó wọ́n ti kọ́ skyscraper sókè gbé gym sísàlẹ̀ àwọn consent system. A sì ní Ọ̀yọ́ state ẹ sì ń kọ́lé àwọn ilé amọ̀ ilé páànù ilé nonsense tẹ̀ ń kọ́ àwọn kan kọ́lé gidi o má knock gbogbo ẹ̀ off. Ilé tí ò lè lo lift dé 15th floor. Mo kí ẹ̀jàre Ọlánipẹ̀kun gbogbo Ifọ̀ màá try láti pẹ̀ tí bá parí ètò ṣàlàfíà ló wà Ọlọ́run bá ń dúró tiẹ̀ àná àwọn commissioner kí ló ń commission àwọn wicked bomb bastards ti báyé jẹ́. No, Commissioner for Land. Àní mo dé Lushan alájà. Mo fẹ́ lè máa dààmú. Tó bá ṣe pé èèyàn ti pẹ́ nílùú ìní. Ẹlòmíì bá máa wò mí pé ṣé lè ṣẹ̀dẹ̀ ṣe ìyá. You just arrive from Africa. But wàá náà ti wo body language pé eléyìí ò ṣẹ̀dẹ̀. I was quite amazed. The rapid development tó wà ní Lushan. Mo rí wẹ̀rì. Kí ló wà níbẹ̀ pé kẹ́ kọ́lé kẹ́ gbé lift síbẹ̀ ṣé wọ́n lè kọ́lé sí Ifọ̀ ìwọ tó ń wò mí láti Ifọ̀ ṣé wọ́n lè kọ́lé ilé 20 floor kí lift lọ sókè tí wọ́n ní múná lọ bomb bastard. Floor tó máa lọ sí 24 27 tí lift máa gbé lọ gbogbogbò ibi tí development dé nìyẹn ìwọ sì wà níbi ẹ̀ńkọ́ bungalow bọ́ngálò tẹ́ ń kọ́ tó bá yàgbẹ́ gọ́sẹ̀ tẹ́ bá flush á tún dá padà wá sí pálọ̀. Nàìjíríà lọ́ọ́ máa bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́lé o gbọ́dọ̀ tún wá kọ̀ọ̀kan tó máa tún lọ tún ṣe níbẹ̀ ni gbogbo ilẹ̀ ti experience. Bàtà ní training kò sí ẹni tó ń vet nǹkan kan kò sí ẹni tó ń check kò sí local government tó ń check anything. Kò kọ́lé gbágá ìyẹn àkọ́lé gbogbo àwọn ilé tó wà ní ṣítà yẹn ó yẹ kó ti da gbogbo ẹ̀ wó pam ó yẹ kí Lagos State ti dáwó kó wá kọ́ ti ìgbàlódé síbẹ̀ ìgbà tẹ́ pé igbó lẹ̀ ń tà ní gbogbo bẹ̀ cocaine mo ṣeré o confam ni mo sọ fún yín o gbogbo ṣítà yẹn cocaine ló ń tà níbẹ̀ tó bá nímọ̀ ń parọ́ ẹni kọjá mi àwọn tó ń gbé níbẹ̀ drugs ló ń ṣe ní gbogbo bẹ̀ yẹn one bastard ẹ ti sọ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa di drug addict tán ẹni ṣoríire àwa ń pariwo pé ká dá dúró ká lè reform ká gbé develop ṣé àwọn ilé máa gbé development wá báyìí one bastard gbogbo Sùúrùlérè yẹn drugs ni báwọn ọmọ Ìgbò ṣe ń tà láwọn ọmọ Yorùbá náà rà lọ́wọ́ wọn ìbẹ́jọ́ ń tà ayéjọ́ ń ṣe ni bá a sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò kan gbogbo oúnjẹ ń tà ayéjọ́ ń ṣe ni ẹ lọ wo nẹ́dù mo wò lánàá gbogbo industry drugs ló wà níbẹ̀ drugs náà kàn fi I'm a skit maker wèrè skit tó ń ra Range Rover níbo ló ti rówó yẹn one bastard ìlú òṣì ìlú tó tíyàn kọ́kàn lè ìyàn Nàìjíríà ló lè account I'm a billionaire I'm a millionaire níbo ló ti rówó níbo ló ti rí owó wọ́n sọ fún wa mo rí Prince Cubana pẹ̀lú Imo State èmi ò tẹ́ tètè dámọ̀ ẹ̀rùn kí mi ò ń dá gbogbo wọn mọ̀ èmi ò mọ celebrity kan lọ títí ìyàwó mi bá ń sọ pé èmi ò mọ ilé ni òun àti Davido jọ máa ń káàkiri àṣẹ òun náà ń support Hope Uzodinma one bastard ó kọ̀ ẹ̀ pé àwọn tó wà nílé tí ara wọ̀ lè gbá ni bí wàá ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ara wọ̀ gbá ni ẹ̀rọ látàárọ̀ nísìn àti ìdìde orí ìjókòó yìí lẹ́yìn aṣọ tí mo change àbẹ̀rẹ̀ program àtúntúnṣe wá tó dúró látún padà bọ̀ inú òtútù àwọn tó máa wá àwọn alẹ́ máa wá lẹ̀ dì mọ́ ẹ lè lẹ̀ dì mọ́ àwọn commissioners yìí wọ́n bí bàbá yín dákẹ́lẹ́ lọ dì mọ́ àwọn tí mo dárúkọ àwọn tẹ̀mí dẹ̀ dárúkọ wọn kò ní dá fún wọn èmi lè tọ́ba wá London máa sọ fún wọn pé wọn ò ní ṣoríire tó ń fìyà jẹ wá òun náà wọn agriculture minister kìnnìkan commissioner gbogbo wọn nísìnyí lọ́ máa ń sá fún wa one bastard. Àní Sanwó-Olú wá ṣe nǹkan ní Lagos State wọ́n gbọ́ pé àwọn Lagos State Union ẹgbẹ́ tó ti wà for 30 years governor ló máa ń jẹ́ representative tó máa ń jẹ́ patron wọn wọ́n sọ fún wọn pé wọ́n ń ṣe event tó involve Lagos State ní London can you imagine that? Ìyẹn Sanwó-Olú ló point to finger point nìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fi mẹ́ja nínú odò one bastard ó ní òun wá investor ní London ó lè lẹ́ fi ń jà ó lè ní gbogbo ìgbàgbàgbà lọ àwọn rẹ̀ fi máa fóònù ẹ mọ̀ pé màá ti ń gbogbo alamọ́ra dáadáa lórí títì ní London bíbá wọ́n ṣe investment òṣìwò lẹ́ ń ṣe investment àtàlẹ́ fi máa fún pẹ́ ń ṣe investment one bastard bolúkàlùkù kọ̀ fi ń pawọ́dà náà ni wọ́n ń gbé investment kan wá. ṣèbí PID tọ́ṣẹ̀ parí nísì ṣèbí àwọn yẹn wọ́n fẹ́ gbowó lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n ò ṣe nǹkan kan wọ́n dẹ̀ fi gbowó kọ́dẹ̀ tó gba contract yẹn náà wọ́n bribe síbi bribe sọ Tiwa Danjuma náà wọ́ọ̀ clean one bastard ẹ jẹ́ ṣé gèmó yóò yà alótùkùn bẹ́ẹ̀ jáde ká tó máa lọ olùṣọ́nà kọmíṣọ́nà àtẹ̀tísọ àwọn tó wà ní kíní ló máa ń pa àwọn yẹn àwọn representatives yìí the 10 minutes ẹ̀ ló kú ní láti lọ nísìn gbọmọ kàdé Mr. William Akinfunmilayo no commissioner for land ti ta gbogbo lẹ̀ dànù one bastard Professor Daudu Kẹ́hìndé kí lẹ́yìn ṣe commissioner for works and transport gbogbo èyí jagbajagba gbogbo àwọn micra tẹ́ ń gùn káàkiri nílùú Ìbàdàn bẹ́ẹ̀ èèyàn mẹ́fà ṣé mẹ́ta ló máa ń jókòó síwájú Honourable Wasilat Adegoke Adefemi commissioner for youth sports Mrs. Tara Adefope director general Bureau of Public Procurement ibi tó wọ́n wà gangan nìyẹn ìyẹn kan ní Nigeria is a setback ó ju setback gan lọ tẹ bá torí òyìnbó mi láti bá mi lò tó bá dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn àwọn olóṣì àwọn civil servant àwọn yẹn ti di dawn ṣẹ́rí Mrs. Tarai àwọn yẹn ló mọ ibi tó wọ́n wà gangan Bureau of Public Procurement ibi tó wọ́n wà nìyẹn àwọn ló tún kù níbẹ̀ kí ló ń tender contract award Bureau of Public Procurement BPP port orí website Ọ̀yọ́ state government mo wà yìí àwọn olótú à ń bẹ̀ the legislatures àwọn olè speaker honourable kí ló honourable Edward Adébọ̀dé Ògúndóyè speaker orí ọ̀pẹ ṣé o gbọ́ pé wọ́n pààyàn ní sẹ́pẹ̀tẹ̀rì wèrè ó náà honourable Adédébọ̀ bomb bastard ní gbogbo yẹn ní sóríire wọ́n ń pa àwọn èèyàn wa ẹ̀yin olùṣèyìn náà ṣe speaker ẹ̀yin ṣe honourable ẹ̀yin ṣe house of rep ẹ̀yin olùṣì ta ló bá wọnú gbó pẹ̀lú àwọn ọlọ́pàá àti sójà ẹ̀ wá ń wá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá nation tó máa kówó lẹ̀ tá máa ní káwọn lọ́ọ́ fúnàlè lọ wá pa ṣe gèsì yín lára ṣèbí inú local lọ ti ń pa wọn orígbà tó wá sójú títì honourable Abíọ́dún Muhammed Fádèyí honourable Ọ̀nàpọ̀ Sanjo Adédoyin majority leader kí ló majority leader one bastard ta ló tún wà ń bẹ̀ honourable Ọlásùnkànmí Samson Babalọ́lá èyí tó bá dẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa jẹ́ ká mọ̀ nù wọn honourable Yusuf Ọládẹni Adébísí honourable Akíntúndé position held honourable Ọ̀jẹ̀dókun Peter Gbádéjẹsìn eléyìí kọ́ lọ ní bàbá kan bàbá ẹ̀ jẹ́ ló ń bá Fúlàní ṣe àwọn Gbádéjẹsìn mò ń gbọ́ tọmọ lukàn sọ́níjọ́ mi Ògúndáre Abídèmí Adéoyè Michael Olúbísí Margaret Ògúnṣọlá Anthony Ọládẹ̀jọ Akíntóyè Waheed Kọ́láwọlé Azeez Akíntọ́lá Musbau Salami all the bomb bastards honourable ṣù àwọn honourable tá a lè hold accountable bó ṣe wà yẹn ẹ máa tanra yín mo kí ogun ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ pàdé mi láago 6 kọ́lọ́n bá ní kẹ́ jẹ́ ká tún jọ pàdé kò ní sú wa kò ní rẹ̀ wá tí wọ́n bá náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ dúró ti Nàìjíríà ta ló di ẹ̀ mú kò fẹ́ àwọn tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation sílẹ̀ ká máa kígbe ṣùgbọ́n ní online social media là ń pariwo jẹ́ ká máa pariwo kíyà máa jẹ́wọ́ at least àwa wà òkè torí pé mo ti jẹun nísìnyí ṣe ń belch ti jẹun dáadáa màá lọ kẹsẹ̀ sókè màá relax wá ṣe díẹ̀ àbọ̀sọ́nà pàdé mi mo kí gbogbo èèyàn gidi mo sàlótì yín níbí mo sàlótì yín lókè kámẹ́rà mélòó la tàn 1 2 3 4 5 6 àdẹ̀ tó wà lórí Twitter space àwọn Ìgbò ló máa wà pẹ̀lú mi lórí Twitter space agree na all hail Biafra woto make I go rest I don talk come back again in the evening ó tẹ̀ kí n play ti Ṣòwòrẹ́ yẹn kí tó máa lọ ni let's go and play Ṣòwòrẹ́ ká gbọ́ nǹkan tí Ṣòwòrẹ́ sọ Ṣòwòrẹ́ ti sọ fún yín pé revolution na revolution woto ẹ jẹ́ máa lọ́jà rẹ̀ máa play Ṣòwòrẹ́ later bí ẹ máa play nírọ̀lẹ́. Thank you so much. Sorry, I can't bring anybody in. I gotta go now. Salute to you, Chief Oka. We'll send 100%. Thank you so much. I love Biafra. Yoruba people don't fight me with the Biafra. Say what thing that they do with Biafra? Bomb bastard. You don't like them. Let them go. You don't like the Igbos. We don't like each other. Let them go. That is my argument. All this one way now they fight, corner, and they go steal our. Okay, let them go so that they don't go steal in our land. Bomb bastard. Let them go. Let Tinubu let them go. So me and you make we stay with the Bororo, make they kill us, make they rape us. Let the Igbo goes. Akuku like Arawa, see unity. You don't love them, they don't love me. Then let everybody go. Self-determination. I don't understand Yoruba people. NF like our Igbo. Our Gole can support become a law. We don't want to be part of them. They are this, they are okay. I agree. Let them go. We don't like them. But the same Yoruba people, you don't want me to go, but you want to hold them accountable for atrocity to this and label them like that. No, could it work? Could it work? You must let them go. Look, okay, I hate the Igbo. Let them go. Bomb bastard. Can't see Yoruba people, they attack me every day. On top of this Biafra, where they support. Any shoriri. Let them go. Let everybody go their separate ways. We don't like each other. Let the Igbo go, or the Biafra, whichever one. Let them go. So that we can sell Lagos State and tell them that to use Lagos State, it belongs to us. But as long as you're in Nigeria, okay, everybody own Nigeria. Barely. They say, no man owns Lagos State. Okay, let them go. So that we cannot say, now we get Lagos State ownership. Let them go. Let everybody go their separate ways. Allow the Biafra to go so that we can deal with them even better. Just as the British, they deal with it, people where they don't want me, they come to this country. Even when I go Saudi Arabia now, they send in a come back home. One bastard. Muslim ticket. Tinubu day Saudi Arabia, they disrespect Muslim. We don't like the way you are aligning with Biafra. We love Yoruba nation, but you are like Oloshi. Who say I know your papa? I don't know anybody for this movement, apart from my wife and my mom. One bastard and Igboho and Baba Kitoye. Baba Kitoye, he called me when I was on Star Radio. It's a privilege. So I tell me, you don't like them, let them go. Self-determination is not a crime. If the Biafra are using armed struggle right now, that is their case. It's not our own. Let them go. I'm faster. And I go race it destroy. Are they alive when I go race it don't die? Nothing concern me with that. We now not talk about the one where British join us together. They talk about the regional world government where I go race it destroy. Yoruba people. Bastard. I will deal with you on that Twitter space. We did together. The one way I know one say, I go block your head off. Just like, I don't know say that the freeze, they block people as well. That the freeze, they London. I don't know whether I run return to Nigeria. They abuse that the freeze, where they London, where they Chelsea. An apartment, they enjoy. They abuse them. Oloshi. Clement, aside to my brother, Omo Biafra, every month, Clement pay me salary. Yeah, it may be because of that, I go to shout Biafra. Oh, hey, Biafra. And I don't tell you, Chechisa, I go come Canada, come chop ECAU. Shout out to everyone. Have a very good afternoon. My name is Olamide Koiki. Bye for now. So I know you and Chief Akitoye for this trial. If you share it, I'll later. Bye for now. My quit, but she told me. Mukio Boyni Bibayo. I took part later. Bye for now.